as a decider, but interestingly, Betera, they have changed their pick, if I'm not mistaken. They've picked into Mirage, which previously they had picked into Anubis, and Fireflux had picked into Anubis, and then Betera picked as Dust2, so they kind of changed their picks. And I'm surprised Betera didn't pick into Anubis because they absolutely owned Fireflux. So there's a lot of history between these two teams, and for now, we're going to be seeing who's going to stay unbeaten in Group A.
Yeah, that's what makes this really interesting, right? I mean, you wouldn't look at these two and think these would be the two that are unbeaten, but there's been no FFs from FF, and Betera have looked very surprisingly decent with the roster issues they've been having. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing this Fireflux team play. Only the second time I think I've covered them, and there's a lot of names that I am enjoyers of. Already the pistol run underway. We're leaping our way out of Palace. Already the start goes Banjo's way. And Soulfly goes 1 for 1, but a great goosh immediately there onto Skrunk. Means that he gets spammed down by that P250 on height. Massive gap in that CT smoke. That could be awkward, but it's being watched. And Supra will take that one comfortably. Looking for one more to finish off the round. Nearly out of bullets, but now they know where Sensei's coming from. So it should all be good in the hood. And there's the P250 to finish it off. 5 kills between 2 players.
What a great round from Height and Goblin Slayer, colloquially known as Supra. So fantastic basic name, I will say. But that was a round where issue with Fireflux is that they did get opening kills as the anchors, but you had one pushing ramp, you had one segregated on default, so you actually ended up playing really individualistic. So Betera were very easily able to get those trades, and then ultimately the rotations were kind of just cut down one by one. So a pretty good start for Betera, who, as you mentioned, Trav, you touched upon the roster changes. This roster's in flux right now. They playing with different rosters every game.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the full 5 roster. It seems a bit unknown right now.
Yeah, I think, as I said, like a lot of teams in Challenger League, just due to the rules, full stop, have to play with their 3 core, right, from last season to keep their slot, which means you have to play, well, is it maybe 3, 5? It might be 3 games with the core to sort of then assert yourself and confirm that slot as your own. Then you can make the changes that you originally wanted and intended. I have to double check that one, but I'm pretty sure it's around that area, around that sort of ballpark at least. So yeah, it's awkward for a lot of teams in that sort of scenario. Fireflux.
Yeah, same with all ESCA leagues.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know what it's like in Challenger, but in ESCA normal, I think it's 4 games with the core.
4, okay, yeah.
I think.
I mean, you've been around that area, mate. You should know.
Yeah, but we never been in the issue. We never had that issue.
That's fair enough.
I think it's 4.
Fireflux don't have that issue because it's a team that has been assembled and made their way up through the advanced leagues all by themselves. They have that name value that has taken them very far. You know, Soulfly is a super interesting player just because of, like, Eternal Fire right now. He could absolutely have been one of those players on Eternal Fire if things went differently, if they didn't find a Wycadia, for example. He's incredibly talented, and I'm looking to see quite a lot of that as we go in today. This is pretty awkward for Fireflux in this round, though. They've got 2 players short, kind of tripping over each other. That Molotov is going to force them back a little bit further, and they're going to have to allow Betera to drop onto the side and plant.
This is a very weird round. We also don't have a single kit, so for Fireflux, there's a very real possibility this smoke short might just call a save. I actually think we save this if I'm Fireflux.
Yeah.
You're not getting into this round. The bomb is about to be half ticked. That is an opening kill. That might allude to the fact that we are going to go for this retake. And okay, the kills are trickling in, but again, no kit, time's of the essence. Some players are committing, some players aren't committing. So sure, for Fireflux, we will get 3 kills. Hello. We are
Hello.
back. I
How are
don't
you,
know when
Freddie?
I got. I'm very good, but I mean, luckily when we did DC, it was when the round had ended.
True.
I don't know how much my point got across, but the ultimate point was Flux. They should have just called it quits straight away. Like there was no point going for that retake.
Looks like they did save a couple, right, if I'm not mistaken, going by the guns. Of course, we've just reconnected to our feed, so sorry about that, guys, but we're back in now. As you say, happy we didn't miss that much, but this round could be on here. A couple of kills coming through for Owner and Height to keep this one in a winnable situation. And Height's up to a 9-0 start, but Soulfly, crosshair placement with the Deagle, puts it all on Owner in a 1 versus 2. Soulfly back sight, but with 7 seconds, there's no way Owner can get anywhere near that bomb, which is dropped on B. And that is going to be an unusual way for Fireflux to get their first round on the board.
What a peculiar start to this game. So they lose the gun round, and then naturally they win the next. So Betera, this was their opportunity to break away, and instead now they've been sidelined. So you know what? Maybe killing 3 players when you did lose the first gun round actually has some value to it, because now we've got 3 players going onto pistols. Fireflux, this all of a sudden changes this early stage from being maybe a little bit scary and dangerous and precarious to being, oh, we've got the momentum now.
Yeah. And as a world, that economy's been cancelled pretty quickly. Sensei on a interesting angle. He's got support from Scrunk, but that could be going straight into a Tech 9, and there we go. Now Sensei doesn't know whether to go or stay. The AWP obviously can get swung upon, but thankfully, for his sake, he reacts quickly. Recovers it into a 4v4, and sure, they have mid-control. They have got some sight lines around the map. Bomb will now be picked up with a minute to go, so they need to get that down. And they've got enough utility to make this problematic for the CT side.
The issue with being in a 4 versus 4 is exactly what you're seeing right now. Fireflux are always going to end up leaving one side of the map a little bit more barren than the other, and without any mid control as well, rotations are going to be a little bit limited. And as soon as that mid smoke ends and Paz can only stop. Wait, did he see? Yeah, he must see mass foul. But with that mid smoke fading, still no information for Fireflux, and Banjo on the back of this B bomb site is completely isolated. Height as well with perfect coverage with the AWP, and just like that, that opening kill in Palace changes the whole directive of the round.
Yeah, just a tiny bit of sort of presence shown across the map to make Fireflux guess, and now, sure, you have a kit, but the save is the ideal option when you have all this utility and an AWP still in play and you're miles away anyway, so it was never going to come through. Betera with a nice start, and you know, when you've got a weird sort of mix like this going on before you get your full roster sort of in action, it's very hard to know. There isn't that much news about this team in terms of like socials and all the research you can do, so it's hard to know for sure what their plans are and who they actually want to play with in the future. HLTV is kind of the only guess you have. But yeah, I think they're doing a pretty good job of pugging out some of these games, and if you look at their recent results, of course, the ones they won, they beat a Cybershoke team, which right now is genuinely, I think, relatively decent. They picked up Glowing from 9 Pandas, which is a pretty decent pickup for Cybershoke, a team of that level, and they're playing with Blixie as well, which is a player, I think, from Aurora Youngbloods, the Aurora's academy team.
Blixie, yeah, it was.
And then you 2-0 Namiga, which is an insane result.
Yeah. That's actually a nuts result to be getting. Height's a cool piece to Betera, because I remember when he got dropped from DMS, or I guess Amcal. I don't know when the exact timeline was, but I was like, whoa, that's surprising. Like, I thought Height was pretty good. I saw his replacement and was like, I understand. Molody is the best player to grace his herb. So I was like, okay, I understand.
True.
I can see why now. But we actually still have a purge of Fireflux. They've been pretty good at saving some economy, and now it's actually going to be a very simple execute for Betera. They're going to try punch their way out of this bomb site, but counter utility is going to prove it to be very difficult.
Another entry. Making it look easy. And there's one more player on site already dealt with. Owner manages just to recover that one with 2 health to spare after the duel. And Flux, oh my goodness, what a swing from Banjo. That's a lovely pre-aim double tap. There's still actually a universe that makes something out of this round because there's no one healthy on Betera. There's an HE available. That should get a kill, you would think. And there we go. Masval out of the round. Tenzi on back, which is actually a tough position to be in at this point. Late round, that can be a right-eye peek. He should have seen it a bit sooner, Banjo, but now Sensei has a chance. Orp gets the kill. M4 available to switch to. Owner knows he's walking onto the site. We'll get perfect timing and catch him as he's looking to get onto the bomb. Even though he was super low from earlier on, it doesn't matter when there's no time left on the clock for the CT side. And Flux right now sort of struggling to find an answer in this game.
Yeah, 2 HP is a difference maker there. And it's almost the same criticism and confusion at the same time as the pistol round of like, oh, we actually got the first kills. Like, the opening kills were for Flux. They had counter utility down towards ramp, towards Palace, and outside of those first opening kills, it all falls apart for them. So for Betera, they're really hanging on, and these rounds, sometimes that look, I'd say, unwinnable, or at least you're unfavored, end up looking really good for Betera in the late game. But Soulfly, our player to watch, getting some big impact early on into round 7 as a full buy does come through for Flux once again. But that kill is seemingly not deterring Betera as they are still progressing up short, and that's a massive kill for Masval.
I trust in Soulfly, and getting him activated with those opening kills is what I want to see, but I think sticking around in connector there might have been a little bit bold, which is caster speak for silly. But I understand why. Wanted to look for more, maybe feeling like he needs to do more when Flux are already 1-5 down. Gets a 1-for-1 at least, and Banjo got one more, so they have an advantage. Scrunk 5-7 in Sandwich, not the most attractive spot for that when you're the only site anchor. But Paz is around and about in jungle to cover connector at least, and the possibility of a window peek, a window boost. All 3 for Betera together on short, and if they do go towards short as a trio, right now that's looking okay for Sensei. Oh, even though the flick up is good, unfortunately it's only the leg shot, and I say it was looking alright. With 2 players holding toward B, that has been cancelled out straight away.
Paz has got ahead of the utility, but there's actually another Molotov towards door. I was thinking he might be able to rocket his way out, but that seems fairly unattainable at this stage. Scrunk is coming towards short. There is a lot of damage already inflicted to Betera, but these post plants are really good, to be honest. Like, they are good, but okay.
What?
Wait, what? I was going to say these post plants are good because they have crossfires. I didn't mean a jumping AWP.
He's absolutely just... I mean, it wasn't a no-scope, but he's jumping... jump shot him from
insane.
Van. It was probably like... in the midst of the animation on the crouch jump up on the corner of Van, I reckon. I would be very surprised if he was completely mid-air, but you know what? I've seen it happen. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay from Mike's POV, I don't think, but that's ridiculous. They're all looking at him as if to say, what did you just do?
What?
What a start. 12-2.
Well, this is actually another addition of the point I was making, right, where early round it looks good for Flux. Soulfly gets an opening kill. Mid round it looks pretty good for Flux. They have map control. Oh, we've lost the bomb site. Oh, we've lost the round. Like, this is the same thing that's been going on for the past few rounds. It feels like Betera are getting away with murder here, to be honest, Trav.
I mean, the rounds are close, don't get me wrong, but they're also not close, if you get what I mean, right? Like,
yeah.
They've been, even though they've got it down to some after-plant scenarios, they have been pretty comfortably winning them, and sure, maybe even low numbers scenarios too, but in those 2v2s, 1v1s, it felt like they were always in control of the round in those given moments. Scrunk knows the power of that 5-7, not investing everything into this round, not buying an MP9 for no reason when he can save a little bit extra cash, possibly to drop a future AWP to Sensei. The buy is still okay, it's acceptable, but Height's hitting everything right now. There's just nothing you can do against him, whether he's mid-air or on the ground.
He's really showing that Amcal made a mistake in picking up Melody. He's like, no guys, I am better than that. He's
Yeah,
13 and 2.
Clearly that 1.3 rated AWPer, who could be one of the best players in Tier 2 right now, is the wrong pickup. Absolutely.
Yep, 100%. And, well, the bomb sites just fell. That spam would have changed the directive a little bit, because Owner, if he'd fallen, would have been even Stevens. But unfortunately, you have Sensei and Paz, not completely known. Yorp is glaring towards CT, but that's actually where Sensei's now repositioning. Do Betera give anything up?
It's another one, Freddy. Now Paz has been naded down to 55. It's another one. It's another one of these rounds where they're in a disadvantage. They might get a few kills, but the reality is there's just no way in. Betera should not let them in here whatsoever. He may have finally missed a shot, but he's being covered towards CT. Tenzi's got his back. He may finally go down. But Paz, again, half health. He's going to try and drop into Sandwich, but he needs a defuse kit. He ain't got it, and he ain't got his head anymore either. Tenzi's looking sharp as well so far in this game. And Betera, 7-1.
It really feels like we're going around in circles, right? Like, it's the kind of the same situation with just a different face on it. That round, though, was ultimately always going to be Betera's because they got the opening kill. They had a 2-man advantage at one stage. But yeah, again, it was close at the end, but it wasn't really close. And Flux, I simply don't know how they always have just enough money to purchase in, but then it's never great. And Soulfly, he just hasn't even had an opportunity. Oh no.
Wow.
What's going on right now? What? He gets another one through the smoke. Skrunk stuck in the corner just like that. Another round goes against Fireflux. Banjo sitting on B like, guys, what's going on?
Well, I mean, this is Betera's pick, but it's one of the most played maps for Fireflux. And they've had a 4-win streak on it recently. They've beaten Monty, they've beaten Cybershock, they've beaten Endpoint. Maybe that's not exactly an achievement these days, but it's still 4 in a row.
Hey. Watch your mouth.
Listen, they're the only team we've got left to support now, I get it, but...
Yeah, you could support Belfast Storm.
I could support...
Alaska.
Yeah. I could support Money F.
I'm personally a big fan of Money F. What an interesting break we had between Asia Pacific and Europe. It was
there was some news, let's say.
There was some news.
Yeah. Fireflux are well, just struggling, plain and simple right now. They're getting into these late round scenarios, but finding no way to win them. Betera just in comfortable positions nearly every single time. I appreciate Fireflux looking to play aggressive in terms of retaking, because it's boring just to save every round, but boring tends to win you more games than not boring in those scenarios. So, yeah, they've thrown away some weapons on a few of those, leaving them struggling. I definitely would favour them highly on map 2, don't get me wrong. Map 3 is a bit more of a toss-up.
I mean, it doesn't matter what map we're on at Betera playing like this.
I mean, true, like, height, sure, but Tenzi and Owner just hitting everything? Like, This is impossible to face right now.
So, a lot of confidence. And apparently perfect utility as well. That's a good cheeky 100 damage of one nade. I do love the fact that Tenzi's been put on a Mach 10 for this round as well. It's not like Height's got 6.5k.
I guess Tenzi's like, okay, they're on pistols. They probably don't have helmets. Let's give it a go. Let's just run them down.
Armor.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you hit the head, though, without helmets. That's what makes the Mach 10 properly viable. Nice little jiggle there from Soulfly, realising that Height, if he is there, has been sharp. Forces the shot and forces the information out. Good HE again.
Another one.
Good God. It looks like it's going to be B. And sure, there is a player boosted up on site and Banjo here to help Skrunk, but Skrunk probably needs 2 from this position, and the Mac 10 just sprinting around the site. Well, there we go. Soulfly's helped out in the meantime, and Banjo has got one of those kills, but even though the cavalry's kind of arrived, Height's picked up an AK, and I would favour him in this position a little bit easier, but not if that sort of strafe kill comes through from Banjo. Okay, Fireflux have finally got something running here, and the only 2 rounds they have won have been a little bit lower investment rounds.
Supra might just try and save this. I don't think he's going to be able to, but he definitely can't win the round. He might get the kill on Soulfly, but Paz has already run for the hills. And
wow.
He dies after time. Money is, sure, in a decent position, but it's not amazing. Supra only has $3,200. Height might not be able to play the AWP. He might have to just drop over AKs, which is exactly what he's doing. That is a massive malfunction of a round. But the issue is for Fireflux is that's the only time rounds have come out for them. You know, they win a low buy after losing the first gun round. They've just won a low buy there. They're actually yet to win a gun round. So sure, those rounds are great, but I'm not sure how highly I hold them.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, the gun rounds is where the meat and potatoes are of the game, and they haven't been able to do much with that. I think the only saving grace, as you say, is that killing Supra after time makes a little bit of a difference long term. And I say long term. The long term is only 1 extra round, but it might help them get an 8-4. This buy isn't perfect, and then they'll be left with nothing on round 12 if they win it, Fireflux. So we'll see. Still got plenty of util Betera, which means that they'll probably be absolutely fine. It's going to be a tough round either way for Fireflux. Soulfly has gotten a number of really important kills, and that triple is definitely the beginning of his numbers once again. Little peek in toward ramp there from Skrunk from the edge of stairs. Smokes all over mid once again as they try and make their way out. A little bit of presence from Betera toward ramp early round, right? Just showing themselves and showing there was a peeker up toward the top of ramp, but then they go back toward mid. Unfortunately, Fireflux have not bitten on that at all, and they're continuing to stand and fight in mid with 2 or 3 players, and they get away with a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it's a really good hold from Fireflux. Soulfly potentially extends a little bit too far in its good utility to flush him out. However, we haven't left middle. Issue is, Skrunk, his aim hasn't been the best so far today. It's a swing and a miss. Luckily, though, Banjo was there to trade. Issue is, we're still kind of in this state where this is a very winnable round for Betera, but Banjo reposition, not anticipated.
Nice.
Goes for both, and he claims both.
Really important for Fireflux. That now gives them a great opportunity to get this half into an 8-4 and actually a competition. No money whatsoever for Betera in the final round. They have to make do with just pistols and utility. One thing that I think that deserves to be said now at this point is that Sensei, Paz, and Skrunk have 7 kills between them. Soulfly and Banjo have 26.
Oh, yeah. Banjo's got 5. He's got 6 kills in 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's helped. That's for sure.
He's basically him and Soulfly have won the rounds.
Yeah.
Yes, like, Sensei's a piece of this puzzle for Fireflux that I will have question marks over, and performances like this do not help that. Skrunk, though, overlooked. Oh, he pulls the trigger too early. If he gets anything from here now, it's going to be a miracle. He's run out of bullets. It's not his day, but luckily Soulfly and Paz come in. Paz finally adding something to his tally. Banjo puts the nail in the coffin. It's 4 rounds of Fireflux at the half. Will it be enough? Can they come back into Mirage? Find out after this break.
bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal. I never lose, I'm bulletproof. Best in the game, we all know my name. Can't run now, it's too late. Got winning in my blood, in my DNA. It's destiny, it's fate. Unbreakable, unbeatable, undefeatable. I'm invincible. Unbreakable, unbeatable, undefeatable. I'm invincible. I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the
Something to speak about for Flux, a decent end to the half. And they're back in this one if they can find this pistol, that's for sure. They've got utility on Scrunk. And let's see if that can pop them into a sight. It looks like we're just going for a bog standard B walk with probably a smoke either towards short or toward market window. One of the two. A couple of flashes. Let's see if it gets them in.
It's the El Clasico. We were talking about it earlier today. There it goes towards window and the flashbangs. Well, truth be told, they don't actually affect Masval. Softlight doesn't seem too concerned about that though. He's still gonna tear your head off. And now for Betera, you do have a kit smoke. This kind of changes the conversation, and this actually makes this round a lot more winnable. Supra's going to jump over to short, so all four players are now retaking from short. Sensei being very liberal with those duels taken at range. It's always really going to favor the USPs, and guys, probably stop over-peaking. This setup is just being pulled apart one by one. There's a smoke on the bomb, and Paz, he's actually going to drop. Betera, it's a great retake, but Trav, I'll be honest, I feel like they've just been given that.
Ah, that is not one they're going to enjoy watching back later. When you have the opening kill, you have so much time. The bomb's been down for quite a while at this point. You feel like you've got it all sorted. But the shots hit by Betera are excellent. Sure, in those sort of scenarios, you feel almost safe toward bench and from the backside, just fighting round and about sort of empty pillar and van side. You think, okay, well, I can just have a little peek, see where they're coming from, get some information. But I think they just fought a little bit too aggressively. Gave the ability to Betera to tap them down. And again, there was some amazing work from Banjo to get that second kill, which I think really gave them an opportunity. But last few players were stuck in the open, and it wasn't to be. There's one kill again from Banjo to come through, and Scrunk actually gets the second of the game there somehow, dancing in that bottom mid smoke, bottom con smoke. Masval making quite a lot of noise. Will get taken down as Soulfly takes advantage of all that noise to take some initiative around the map. So they've got jungle control, they've got A control. They need this one.
We're actually scared to get the bomb down because we know Tenzi was towards short. He's going to jump over towards window. He's actually going to be fighting towards connecting. You might not expect two players here. And yeah, Soulfly goes unchecked. Owner now. A 1 versus 3. He gets one. Just about, but realistically it was always going to be trade, and then also on top of that, the only kit was down towards connector. So Flux, very reminiscent of this first half, where we struggled in some gun rounds, important rounds, but then they end up winning the lower purchases. It's keeping their head afloat. How sustainable is this?
Of course, it depends on winning this round against the full force from Betera as the force buy wars get underway. But Freddy, you prefer this, right? If you lose the pistol, hurt the CT economy the most you possibly can by winning the force and then beating the force again, and then the eco to follow. It'll get them in the game.
It's weirdly best case scenario. The only hindrance is obviously just losing a round, right? Betera on 9 instead of 8. Yeah. That sometimes could be a difference maker, but yeah, you're spot on. Just look at the purchase, right? If Betera had lost pistol round, they'd at least maybe have SMGs or the odd FMI. But right now it's Deagles and 2 smokes. And we've already a kill towards apartments. There's a very simple acceleration towards this B-bomb site. That smoke will halt their expedition, but they've just decided they want to go straight through it. We are blinding each other, so it's a little bit janky, but there's only one guy here. Masval is towards get right. If we commit, we win the round. Is that one smoke gonna really push them away this much?
Oh, goodness. You're overthinking it, lads.
Yeah, massively. And we've also, by the way, used a lot of utility for nothing.
Yeah, that is the biggest issue, without a doubt. No, they have no smoke left now. All used up. Only flashes. And Tenzi will punish Soulfly for that. They are going to go back into that same option they wanted before. And you'd think it would still work out. And Scrunk is getting some kills on the board. That's a lovely pre-aim toward Market. That's what you want to see. The IGL getting a couple to add to his tally. Trying to get some confidence on the board. And some numbers. And that should secure a 6th.
Not gonna lie, when Tenzi hit that deagle shot, heart sank. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's happening. It's happening. Masval's gonna double his kills in one round. Speaking of doubling kills, Paz doubled his kills at the end of regulation. And we've been speaking about, and Scrunk has just over-doubled them.
Yeah.
So we've been speaking about Banjo and Soulfly being the hard carry. Undoubtedly true on that CT side. Paz, he's shown life. Scrunk, he's just shown life. We're gonna need to see 100% more from them overall if we want to see this game being contestable, because there's 100% the worry of Betera just getting on the full buy, Height getting the AWP out, and not having any resistance by Sensei, for instance.
Well, they are ramping up. I mean, it's not just the fact that they've actually got themselves in a decent position now when it comes to the scoreline. Should be getting a 9-7. It's a fact, as you say, that some of the other individuals are showing something now. Lots of dings, lots of damage on towards Scrunk. That is definitely dangerous. Soulfly trying to stand his ground to help out. No HE, I'm afraid, to help out. And yeah, I think you reacted a little bit there, Freddy. Team flashes right now are coming in a bit too often.
That's 2. Yeah, it's
They're not saying pop.
rounds.
They're not saying
not
flashing, pop.
There was a team once where we used to say moo. We would moo when a flash popped. We go, flash, moo.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Trying to like sing the Doja Cat song or something. Like, what's that about?
What even is that?
You never heard the Doja Cat song before?
I don't think so.
The cow one? That's a part of history, mate.
This doesn't even remotely ring a bell.
Okay. Maybe you're too young for that. I don't know.
Well, Doja Cat would be my generation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but this is before she made this song when she was like not famous, and it's what like gave her fame to begin with. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not a fan of that style of music, I guess.
Fair enough.
I think that's the easy cop out.
My Doja Cat bangers playlist is now sitting very sadly in my Spotify.
Bangers playlist. I don't even know if you're joking or not.
I mean, I like the song. I think the songs are pretty cool. Yeah, I mean,
you've got a
I jam
playlist
to
just
them.
labeled Doja Cat bangers.
No, I don't. It's just some songs on my phone are from Doja Cat, and I like them. It's as simple as that.
So fair.
I can't believe you don't remember that, though. I'm still actually baffled by the fact you don't remember that. You just look it up.
Yeah, I feel Doja Cat cow song.
Yeah, just look it up. Come on.
Wait, what? Surely this isn't real.
Oh my god. Have I laughed that hard on a broadcast before? I'm not sure. Anyway,
what?
it's a gun round. I'm getting my composure back. It's a gun round. We've seen the eco. Flux are back to within 2, and I got the economic control as well with Betera's first gun round coming through. Oh, we're passing in the smoke in mid. Oh, it's so awkward. Tenzi, you don't have any idea what's going on here. Noise is being made. Still, what on earth? Banjo's just ignored everyone. He's going for the kills in connector instead, and it's worked.
Marvelous. Okay, he can't quite get the third, but he does enough damage So the Molotov also does get the kill. What a round from Banjo. 23 and 13. Like, people forget, Banjo has won an international event with Fnatic. Elisa Masters 2022? 23? 23.
Oh, goodness. Yes. I think you're right, actually, now you mention it.
It was 22. So yeah, he's won an international event.
That was a stand-in at the time, wasn't it?
Oh wait, no, that was Pepsor.
Oh, never mind, you are right. Yeah, it was Pepsor. I was going to say, I don't remember Banjo winning something, but it was Pepsor. You're absolutely right. It was Pepsor, yeah.
I thought, I had in my head Banjo won it, but no, it was Pepsor. But he actually did play at Elisa Masters with a Finnish team in 2023, and he came top 4. Do you remember that Harvu team that kind of upset everyone?
Yeah.
So, okay, not quite the same sentiment, but he still was able to beat Ents, who were it was the first roster with Glaive. We forget about that. Gamer Legion, you know, they still upset. Like, he's still a very serious player that I feel like went under the radar a lot post his Fnatic Academy, or I guess Fnatic Rising. He went back to the regional team, and I'm actually really glad to see him in a shot on an international roster. I think he's a really solid player. Every time I've watched him, he's proved me correct. And in this round, unfortunately, he does fall, but it's an instant wicked trade from Sensei.
Yeah, there's more of a history for some of these players than perhaps you sometimes remember, right? With what they've done in the past, even though they're still relatively young. Soulfly, Masval caught, and he knows that Height's in that position as well. Amazing work from Soulfly and Banjo this game. That's 43 between the two of them now. Absolutely ridiculous. Paz gets a really important entry, though. He's starting to work into this game. He's not meant to be the main man on this particular roster anymore. He used to be one of the main men in Turkish Counter-Strike back in the Space Soldiers days.
With hardstyle?
Yep, legendary. Engine as well, Maja, Xantares.
Yeah, well, so the reason why I mentioned hardstyle is he's the coach, obviously, of Fireflux. So I think there's definitely a big part for me where people forget how important a coach can be. And when I look at someone like Hardstyle, I'm like, okay, he's been a part of the best rosters in Turkish Counter-Strike history, aside from, I guess, now the new generation of Eternal Fire. But all the way from 2015 till, let's say, 2022, he was at the forefront of Turkish Counter-Strike. Like, that is... You know, that's an insane amount of invaluable experience. And apparently Sensei's back. Those are 2 shots this round that have both been pretty spicy.
And we're back even. Out of nowhere. It felt like. But just as we kind of chatted about, fact that you lose the pistol in the way you did, but then win the 4 spy straight back. Beat the 4 spy of Betera. Take the eco. And they're in the position with a gun round under their belt, and they're back even once again, and we've got a true game on our hands. Fireflux started cold, and to be fair, I only think 3 of their players started cold, but the whole group now is looking like they're delivering. Paz was actually one of my favourite players back in those old teams as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I you know, even the Sangel team sort of after Space Soldiers, it was... I always enjoyed watching him on that roster because that was obviously Maja was in control of that one of those Sangel teams back then.
The Space Soldiers roster back in the day was always a great, like, an awesome roster to watch and have them on the server.
Xantares is still doing it to this day, which is what makes it so much fun. I mean...
And Maja?
And Maja, to be fair, like, he has a lot of impact, genuinely.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Eternal Fire.
Hell yeah. For now, though, this game's got very spicy. We're 9-9. Issue is, Sensei has already taken quite a bit of chip damage to a grenade. We have got good map control, though, for Firefly. Issue is, Owner's in a perfect position with this second door over, stationed towards B apartments. Paz, none the wiser. And also, that should confirm as a second AWP. So they can't even necessarily accelerate towards A because height is also there. We've got all this map control for Fireflux. We've got mid control. What do we actually do with it?
Yeah, there's still time to figure out something here for Fireflux, but noise is being made, and that's awkward for Skrunk.
Good. Yeah.
It's not just the fragging this game; it's the movement as well. That's when you know it's been a bit of a mare. There's some utility coming over toward A now. That smoke does block off the top ticket AWP position, which is very nice. Height very close. I'm taking that pick from Triple, though. We are going into these sort of 3-player set up pretty well at this point. Now 20 seconds to make their way through. Banjo gets one. That's okay. Skrunk will get a recovery kill. You know what? Actually, he's taking one more, but there's still one more player on the site to worry about. But Banjo's found that one. Unfortunately, Oda is here. Now he's shown his hand, though. And he's got an AWP, of course. Not just pushing alone. And Skrunk. That is an impactful round. Triple kill. That looked like they were going into the mixer, but they've come out smelling of roses.
I am bamboozled by the fact that Betera haven't won that round. You had one in sandwich, you had one jungle, CT, short. How was that not a round win? The jungle player gets nothing. He peeks by himself and plays solo. In sandwich, only good for one. I don't think Height actually got a kill with the AWP that round. His reposition didn't award him anything. And I don't think he could react off that. That was a massive round from Skrunk and Banjo. And again, it's just Banjo showing his hand and showing that he is certainly ready to play at these higher levels. And he's doing so even better than I think anyone would expect.
What a round. Really has been all Fireflux in this second half. Only losing the pistol.
It's crazy.
Everything since then. Everything's starting to go their way. Wallbang damage. The entries are all pretty solid. This round feels a little bit more comfortable. We've got money in the bank.
The thing with the last round is that it wasn't a good round. Like, you're walking up connector at 30 seconds with no information whatsoever. Fireflux didn't deserve to win that round. Individualism 100% gets them over the line. And then also on the duality of that, Betera faltering massively. But you have to then look at the first half and go, okay, they started to combine a few rounds towards the end of the half and then get the ball rolling very quickly in the second half. That is a story as old as time. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I see that on a daily basis where a team has a really difficult first 10 rounds and then just about bounces back at the end, starts off on the right foot in the second half, and all of a sudden you're in a different game.
Yeah, and, you know, it's not just that. There's other sort of patterns to look at as well. And one of the most consistent patterns that I think I tend to pick up on is, right, is I think it's not unfair to say, despite recent results, that Betera are the underdogs here. Fireflux have had a bit of a longer streak of decent results, and they have a more set-in-stone roster. And the underdogs do tend to struggle more on a CT side than a T side. And that has once again proven evident here. Just more protocols in place for Fireflux. Sure, it involved maybe a small pieces of luck in a couple of the rounds, but you make your own luck, and they certainly have on most of them.
This is the final stand now for Betera. They lose this round, they could kiss goodbye Mirage, and Supra, he's had a pretty quiet game even within their success. Skrunk gets a kill before he dies there? How? That's a massive collection, but on the other side of things, we've got players trying to walk out on the A-bomb site. They think that maybe the AWP's attention is elsewhere, but no. Height, again, slowing down recently, but he picks up a brace at potentially the most important time. And as the clock starts ticking down, Fireflux situate themselves in this very awkward 2 versus 4 where the bomb is currently trapped behind boxes and the AWP is trying to make headway out of the B bomb sites. What an angle.
Yeah. Seen that used a couple of times. Actually, we saw that used earlier, didn't we? And he got wall banged out of the round by an AWP.
Yeah.
Nice shot, Paz, but your 1v4 still need 3 of them. He's got a smoke to right-click his way up short, but Owner's got that off angle. He's picked up another smoke actually off the ground, which should have aided perhaps another right-click one on the angle to get more space, but not to be. And Fire Flux, their run-ins here, but Betera need more than just that flash in the pan, because there's a lot of money to break down on Fire Flux. They're kind of good till the end of the game, I think.
Yeah, economy-wise, they're fine. Maybe if Betera get on 12 for 2 in a row and 5 Flux don't get a bomb down, I think that could be a very difficult 24th round of Fire Flux. Heights, by the way, just staying towards Ticket every round.
Yeah.
He's not even remotely contesting middle. He's letting the riflers do all of that. Masval's got himself into ladder room, and Tenzi's just been blocked off by a smoke. Masval mollowed away, but he's going to get a big chunk of damage off Soulfly. In the meantime, Paz might start to activate a little bit from ramp. Luckily for him as well, Height has moved completely away from the bomb site. Height is all the way over on B right now, and Paz, he's walking out on A. The timing here, this is so awkward. Supra's let him pass. Tenzi doesn't really expect him, but still is able to clinch out the frag. Fire Flux now. They're going back towards A, but they're going to have to win out this round in a man disadvantage.
It's weird. It's like they'd given up on whatever they were doing on mid while Paz was walking out. Maybe Paz was like communicating, guys, I might have got something here. I might have got an opening. Maybe they're playing 1A. Maybe they're playing retake. I can grab 1 kill and we can just take the entire site. Didn't pan out that way. And now we're in a position where they're a lot more disadvantaged, especially down and due to the clock. 25 seconds, having to work their way in with only a flash, and they're just going up against Height. It's comfort kills for Height from long range. And to avoid dying after time, they should probably go right now. I don't think a save really makes much sense with the money in the bank. Just try and do some economic damage, but right now they can't do any at all. Sensei, sure, saving the up, that's fine.
Yeah.
He's forced away, and Betera are back even.
Is he going to save the AWP?
Yes.
Yes. I thought Supra was going to ego peek him for a second. Height in these last 2 rounds, I don't feel like he's done anything special. Yet, he still has been able to get the really important impact frags that end up winning the round. And I completely agree. Paz goes for this activation through A while we disengage in mid. Therefore, Tenzi, the collector player, is like, oh, I'm just going to watch the A bomb site. Like, I don't hear anything middle anymore. And for Fire Flux, they almost were able to get the kill on Masford on short. If they were able to get that kill, it would have opened the round completely.
Yeah.
Instead, unfortunately, it ended up narrowing the round. So, from having a really good comeback into this map, where for us it looked like Fire Flux had done it. It looked like they'd completed the comeback and they were probably going to win off Mirage. Instead, we're now at the 23rd round, where again we are tied even, with Betera taking back the momentum. This is an interesting round. This is a very interesting round. Betera go for a different play towards underpass, and a Molotov that I think missed the window ends up pushing them into Soulfly's hands. Unfortunately, though, Sensei, there's no way he gets out of this in middle. How has Sensei got out of that? And in the meantime, Paz, this time his activation towards A is sublime.
He's got 2 this time. He's probably just won the round for his team. Owner's now been spotted out. They know exactly where he's coming from. That is wild. Soulfly somehow fighting for his life. Paz doing exactly the same. They both get the same result. Sensei gets out of top mid in ridiculous fashion. 2 grenades. Molly came his way as well. And none of them actually removed him from the round. And if it had, Freddy, there's a chance they could have just pushed up and maybe found the bomb. So, who knows? That's would have been a... for the future. It's a complete unknown at this point. An alternate universe is needed for that one. But Sensei will get his kill to end the round. All 5 of the kills between those 3. And Fireflux, again, clutching victory from the jaws of defeat, it feels.
Betera clutching defeat from the jaws of victory as well. You just leave A completely open. They tunnel vision so hard on Sensei there.
Yeah.
The timing from Paz is impeccable. Money is good though for Betera. We do have a full purchase. There is some lacking of utility, and Fireflux might not expect Betera to have this good of a purchase. We're keeping things very simple, Trav. We're just going to go for an A pop, but that smoke ramp could make things a little bit more difficult.
I appreciate simplifying it at this stage of the game when you want to just try and get an opportunity, just want to try and get an afterplant to secure it. Of course, important BO3 for both teams. Both of them in the situation of being unbeaten this season in Challenger League. And both of them are getting 2-2-0s as well. Neither of them have lost a map, so maybe this is why it's so close. Neither one of them giving up any ground. Who will be the first to lose a map? Right now, Betera on the edge. Skrunk lurking around lower. Just about creep away. And with 50 seconds, despite the sort of setup outside A early round, they're going to leave that and work their way back through T-spawn and go toward B, I would imagine, at this point. Maybe there could be a split coming through mid at some sort of standpoint.
40
I
seconds.
don't know. Time is an issue.
We've got so much utility. That's the one big benefit. Height has been towards short this whole round. He has not shifted, he has not moved, and he will hold like a rock. 2 kills, looking for more. This looks like we're going to overtime. It's a nice no-scope from Sensei, but unfortunately, I don't think this is enough. Can Skrunk do anything coming out from apartments? He has to get one here. He has to try and open this bomb site for his teammates. He will. 10 seconds. Bomb could be planted. Bomb can be planted because Skrunk is doing all the heavy lifting. Super is also being tagged down tentatively low. The clock for Skrunk might just save the day. Overtime adverted unless Masval only on 6 measly kills can try and clutch up. There's the first. Does he know about Sensei jiggling around both spots? Sensei not pulling the trigger, but there it is. Fireflux complete the comeback and take Betera's map pick.
What on earth is that, man? That's another round to add to the tally which Fireflux probably shouldn't have got anywhere near. I mean, it's crazy, right? First half, it was the complete opposite. Betera were sort of all over them like a rash. Actually made quite a big difference, and that's what got Fireflux back into the game. And the rifling duo of Banjo and Soulfly continued to deliver. You had Sensei pop up with a couple of important kills, and even an important round where not even getting a kill, just staying alive top mid, made a really big difference to the state of the round. And even though he only went 12 and 11, he didn't really have much to do in that game. He had 62 ADR. It was still pretty impactful. Skrunk had those multi-kills. Paz had a few of those impactful pushes. If Height and Owner aren't on the server to the aspect we saw, I guess you could say, their performance on the first map, then I think Fireflux take this even easier, perhaps even than last time. But we'll see.
We shall see indeed. It's going to start with Banjo taking contact long. Plays anti-flash. Okay, only good for the first. In the meantime as well, we've actually got an opening kill from Tenzi towards shore. So, Fireflux, not necessarily allowed to execute their original plan, which might have been to go towards short. They're going to try contest towards middle. Tenzi, he's had a great opener, and alongside Supra, they're going to end off this first pistol round perfectly.
That was pretty comfortable in the end. Supra, I think, he got 2 kills in the CT pistol on the first half of map 1, or whatever. Sorry, T pistol, I'm pretty sure. And you know, that's actually been the majority of his kills is this entire game, I'm afraid. So I'm going to want to see a step up from him individually. Sure, maybe he is one of the temporary players in the server today for Betera, but he's been around the block at this point, Supra. Has a very interesting career path, of course. He was Pretty highly rated player way back when, and he was a part of that Gambit Youngsters team, which then eventually moved on to Hobbit, and he kind of never recovered his career after they moved on to Hobbit. A bit of footy ball.
I was going to say, I completely agree, and I think you've got a fantastic point of Supra.
Oh no! Get it out of the car!
Wait. Ah. No. No! I want the football POV! They got it out. No, they haven't.
Oh, it's stuck forever. GG.
You know when you kicked the... You know when you were a young Travis, and you used to... you would kick your ball into the neighbor's garden, and then the dog would eat it? That's how that feels right there.
I mean... My neighbour didn't have a dog.
Oh, I was just projecting.
But, you know, I don't think cars eat balls, but maybe on that one they did.
It's the same premise, okay?
Yeah, fair enough. I understand the analogy. All good.
Our next door neighbour had a dog, and it didn't like footballs. Or it did, I guess, which...
Did it like you?
Want to look at it. Yes, probably that.
As long as it likes you, that's all that matters.
I am a dog whisperer.
Are you? I thought you were a horse whisperer.
I'd say I'm pretty good at animals by large.
Okay, good.
I think it kind of like one in the same.
If you're not good with animals, it's a red flag, so...
True. And you're trying to date me, so I understand why we'd be thinking about that.
Am I?
Sorry. I don't
Am
know
I?
why I said that.
Did I ever even indicate that was my goal of tonight?
Oh, I was trying to.
You're too young for me. Round 3. And Paz already behind the smoke toward tunnels. That nade already came through and chipped him down slightly. But we're actually, as you say, out mid pretty quickly. And Soulfly's already been tagged down to 22. He went for something, got kind of owned without dying. And he's like, okay, well, time to try somewhere else.
Put a lot of pressure in many different areas of the map very quickly. Mid, B, short. It's kind of the pain of the T side though, because look at this. Betera are just playing in the age-old setup. There's cave paintings on of this setup. 2B, 3A, and this exact same situation. A re-smoke towards CT is really good here because it kind of keeps Masval at bay. In the meantime, we're taking contact over towards B. It's a running SMG from Owner that keeps the advantage in favor of Betera. Masval might be able to rotate, but unfortunately, he's all by himself. Rotations alongside him being chopped down, but Masval, it's a massive double from him. Skrunk seems very aware of height. The Molotov placement's good, but he's running out of bullets, and the AWP nails the headshot, cracks the cranium, and a chaotic first gun round comes out in favor of Betera.
Oh, that's a painful one for Flux. That is that second kill toward doors. That second kill that comes through for Betera. The slight whiff. Extra bullet wasn't connected. And even though it was traded straight away, it would have given them a 2v1 rather than a 1v1. And that's what made the difference. Skrunk tried to... I think he didn't even play that badly, I would say, Skrunk in the end there. Just the problem is... He didn't have any bullets left. He went for that final swing and he swung it a little bit too slowly up against the AWP. Height was very ready, and he started as he started map 1, to be fair to him.
I mean, Masval only had 7 kills at the end of Mirage, so speaking about people stepping up is Mr. Masval right there. I don't know how he gets away with those kills in that previous round. I thought he was just going to get traded, maybe at best, you know, get the 1. No, he does a lot more than that. It's a good start for Betera, but I'm going to be very cautious with how these rounds go for Betera, because we saw them having an 8-1 lead, and we saw that all get thrown away.
Yeah. Well, we've got 2 digs and a scout. It's going to need to hit every single entry. See you next round, Height. That is dirty. Unfortunately, there's still a rifler here. And that should be enough, you would think. There's a rotation coming in. They're actually, as well as doing a good job of wasting enough time, just keeping himself alive, waiting for his teammates to come and help, but more Ds could still be hit. Soulfly, nice try, gets himself a 1, but no more than that one. And they will clean it up with 3 players alive in the end, but there were some dirty shots hit there, that's for sure.
Those kills are very important, especially with only 1 player staying alive in the first gun round. You're just somewhat keeping the economy low down, and those kills might come into big effect if Flux then win this round, for instance, because then you've got 1400 loss bonus and no one can really buy up apart from Masval and Supra, and even then it's not going to be fantastic. Tenzi, I think they know about him in Underpass. However, Owner's taken the first contact, and they certainly know about Soulfly. Decimated, atomized. Is this B, not even aggression, just B hold from Flux?
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason that aggressive push to the main portion of tunnel came so quickly is because they knew that Tenzi was getting pushed. They knew he was under pressure toward lower. They wanted to try and take some attention away, and, well, Owner does amazingly to get that kill so cleanly on Paz, when Paz probably got the drop on him. Skrunk tries to jump to check pit, but there are 2 players close already toward long, my friend. Great flash toward that position. The dink means it's an easy kill for the Goblin Slayer, otherwise known as Supra.
He wins these.
And Sensei is now in a clutch, but you're absolutely right. He's a great clutch player. He already got the first with the AWP. Oh, and they were in the midst of trying to jump their way up toward Cat and Elbow. And that could have definitely gone wrong, but in the end, it's that kill that comes through straight away, just letting them get away with it, because that could have been a spray down on the second very easily.
100%. I had the exact same thought process. If Owner doesn't hit that instant headshot, different story. But that's Betera. Someone call the police. I already hear the sirens. There's been a massacre on Dust2 here.
Mate.
I don't know. Like, to be honest, Flux, they weren't even ready for what hit them.
Living in London, Chief, like, I don't know, fire engine, police, or ambulance, I swear it's at least 2 a day. And usually every single time I'm casting. So sometimes you've got to make a play on that one.
They actually wait for when they're casting. They're like, Trav's casting, go out, go out, go out. Move, move, move.
Sometimes my casts are a bit of a crime, so.
Yeah. I used to pug with someone who an ice cream van would go past his house.
Yeah.
That was a great day. Once a day, he's here. Ooh, that's a big opening kill. The Hero AK for Soulfly as we head back into the action. Apart from that Hero AK, it's a fairly timid purchase with not even everybody buying armor. Sensei is aggressively saving from York. This push on shore could unravel. And it might still, but Masval, that final kill is so important because it keeps it in this 2 versus 2. Height's also already on the angle to hold for them progressing up short, and it's actually a missed short smoke, so no progression is going to be allowed, and that's causing Owner to commit towards mid doors. It's a very lumbered spray from both sides. He will at least secure the first, but a swift trade from Banjo, now with 30 seconds left, and the knowledge that Height was to... I actually don't think they have the knowledge that Height was towards A, just going off the assumption that the AWP's probably there. It's an open B bomb site, and Banjo's going to be able to get the bomb down, while also having a lot of time to reposition.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost favour Banjo slightly, but only if he really had armour. If Height can find a rifle on the ground... Wait, there you go, there is one. USP might be enough, honestly. I think 2 bullets is enough in the chest with no armor on Banjo. But now with the M4, he's got a great opportunity. 2 flashes and an incendiary as well. And right now, Banjo is not looking toward window. Drop down will be heard. It's all about getting the drop, and he will get the drop. Height focuses on back plat first. And Banjo helps Flux get a very unlikely round. And honestly, I thought Betera did really good work to get a 3 for 2 when they were doubled up short. When it looked like that's sort of a position which can go awry very easily. And they actually recovered the round. But Masral couldn't get away from Banjo. And in the end, he's the man to finish it off.
Yeah, a little part of me was like, did we need to fight short there? But then they actually end up getting the advantage. It's the others that fall apart. But Flux, the one advantage they do have in this game now is the economy is constantly being in a very difficult situation for Betera. As the AWP goes down there, it's the only main big rifle, big weapon in this round. Masval, though, he says that my scout can do just as much damage, so he will claw one back, but ultimately, from this position, Flux should be going to a second. They should then be playing against an eco, and it should be pretty easy. Should be pretty easy for them to try and claw their way back into this map, early doors at least, a lot quicker than they did on Mirage.
Yeah, definitely a lot quicker, and it might be a bit quicker, but it's also the same pattern, right? Win a low buy round, get yourself in the game. Sure, it took till the second half for that to happen for Flux, to be fair. It was post-pistol, post-second half pistol, but yeah. They're pretty well set up now. All the guns they'd want, utility, and money's about to get built up as well. Owner, good spot, but Paz, accurate. Important one to grab to make sure that an AK isn't saved. And nothing is saved. 2 on the board for Flux, and 2 on the board for Paz. And an eco. So it's going to be 5-3. You'd think.
5-3. Gun round, well, you'd hope. Owner sells us 5-7, so leads me to believe further this is probably not going to be a round win. Win the next gun round, Flux, and you've got a very contentious end to the first half. Scrum's got a Mac 10 in this round. He's going to go and try fart some ecos, but Sensei's stealing them away from him. That was quite a nice shot, to be fair.
Soulfly's last game for Sangal came in August 2023. I feel like that's
played since then.
I feel like that's kind of where he made a name for himself. And no, sure he was on the team for a couple of years, but that's not crazy to me that that's a year and a half ago at this point.
Oh god, yeah.
It was against
they made the
Zero
RMRs.
Tenacity, funnily enough. Yeah, I remember that with the Scrum team. Yeah.
It was with Fuzi instead of Sensei at the time, because Sensei came in a little bit later.
Yeah.
If memory serves correct, Sensei wasn't really in Sangal for that long, and he kind of came in. Let me check. Sensei, I kind of remember him. Oh no, he was there for a very long time, but it did definitely feel like. Oh no, Fuzi replaced him.
Now you say that. That's what rings more of a bell. And also looking at the last games with their progression as well, when they were back on Sangal in those days, it actually just reminded me that the 2 eras of Sangal actually did overlap. The Soulfly Kyubi era overlapped with the Linus Youngster era, and they had panics at the time in their last ever matches. So yeah.
Yeah. I remember on Sangal they won their first. I think they won 15 best of 3s in a row, basically like right off the bat. Qualified for the RMRs, and then unfortunately they qualified, went 0-3. It was like okay, it's the end of Sangal, and those 15 best of 3s they won. If memory serves correct, it wasn't against the toughest of opponents. So when they got into a bit of a higher level, such as the RMRs, everything just changed a little bit. But that was the old, this is the new. And Flux haven't really contested long all too much. Supra has been left completely by himself, and he hasn't had much to do this game at this part. 3 players on the other side of the door. Oh. If he goes overlooked, this could be a multi-kill in the waiting. Soulfly at the helm, though. I feel like Soulfly is going to check this.
2.
And Supra's also playing anti-flash. He's heard the AWP scope. Soulfly checks it though, hits the instant headshot, and now alongside that we've also got utility that can be thrown from short to add further pressure to this long play, and that's a massive kill to be collecting. Masval isolated because of the crunch, and it's a really well orchestrated round from Flux.
It actually is well orchestrated, yeah, because I think even if Soulfly dies on long, I would be pretty content in the fact that they would have gotten that trade on Supra. And yeah, the way they work their way up short, that's why, genuinely, people have complained about the map pool for God knows how long. Rightly so, because of Vertigo, right? It needed to go. The exit frags here are actually not too bad coming in from Owner. They might be doing some decent damage. That's really nice from Owner. Honestly, fair play. But can they go for the... They don't have a kit. Never mind. I was going to say, if they had a kit, they could actually have made their way up short and given that one a go, because they weren't even that far away. They could have right-clicked a flash and maybe got on the bomb, but no kit. Anyway, my point. I think like that's what's made Dust 2 actually a nice, having sort of a nice piece in the map pool for me at this point. Like the nades breaking open the smokes. We saw that towards short there. Very decent example of like making a round more interesting rather than having to push through it blind. Could sort of just ends around there and then. And that new box on A as well. Just those two small factors. I think Dust 2 is like deserves its place in the pool, even though I think definitely some people would disagree. I'm glad Vertigo was the first to go, and honestly, at this point, the one I'd change first next would be Inferno for like a refreshing map, like maybe the new Cache one day or something, you know?
Cache is definitely being worked on, isn't it? So Cache will be coming eventually. Dust 2 just feels a bit one-dimensional to me. However, this is anything but one-dimensional. You've got 2 rifles being saved into this round, and one is currently pushing top mid. A fantastic flashbang, but not capitalized upon. Skrunk's been able to slink back just about, keeping 40 hit points. And Owner, that was a great opportunity to get the opening kill, but here comes a second. I was talking about one-dimensional. This round specifically has been anything but one-dimensional. Tenzi's now pushing towards underpass, and with pressure being applied from short, Tenzi backstabs. And then when Tenzi shoots, Owner continues to swing. It's a lovely bait and switch. Banjo and Skrunk, there's nothing they can do. And he even gets wall-banged by the scout. What a shutdown.
Their rotations were on point there. Goodness me.
But the whole of B.
Yeah, like, God, they completely converged on mid and B, sort of peaked mid at the perfect timing just to stop them as they were moving away, and they also did the same toward A. It was absolutely spot on, and yeah, the timing for Tenzi was scary, how good that was, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the guy went lower, literally as Tenzi came around the corner.
Yeah, it was Paz.
But alongside that timing, it's what I was saying, like short takes contact, and then Tenzi takes contact, and then short aggresses. There's just so much going on in the round that Fireflux have no idea how to react. They got crunched so hard, and there was nothing they could have done about that. Really well done for Betera. When you've got those 2 saved AKs, you've got to be making those more dynamic plays exactly like they did. So Betera, this half started looking a little bit scary. But now the fortunes are looking to change. They did get 8-4 Mirage, and that wasn't enough. So still, a lot of question marks around this matchup, to be honest. I really couldn't tell you where this is going yet.
Yeah, it's actually really tough to call. That's what makes it an enjoyable game, gotta say. And yeah, you mentioned about Dust 2 being one-dimensional. Don't get me wrong, it absolutely can be, but the extra dimensions that have been added by CS2 and teams these days in the modern meta does make me enjoy it a lot more than I ever did, that's for sure. I was a massive Dust 2 hater in CSGO, and it deserved to go, but now I'm content with it. Height on long.
The skybox is cool as well. Oh, Height's being pulled off long.
25 seconds though, that's the biggest factor here.
Yeah, they have to make noise.
Oh, the lineup is perfect. Banjo holds down mouse one, will get the kill, but he needs another one, and it's not going to happen. They're making their way up short as they try and take long. They're trying to do kind of like the similar play that they did earlier that worked so well to converge up short and long at the same time. But this time, Betera's setup was completely different, and they couldn't deal with it.
In all honesty, that probably would have worked if they didn't have to make noise. As soon as they make noise there, Supra has the jump, he swings out, and luckily for him, I will say luckily they line up. He gets 2 kills super quickly, and then Height's also in a much better position there to react than the previous situation. So that's also a big difference maker, that your AWPer is able to kind of cross between long and short very freely. But this is something new. Eternal Fire haven't loved going long early fast, and I can maybe understand why. Masfal alongside Supra double up for the opening kill, but as trade and spam through the smoke puts us back into a 4 vs 4 with Eternal Fire. Sure, they've taken control of long, but they are unable to progress any further because of this block smoke.
I just want to say you call Fireflux Eternal Fire.
Oh my god, did I actually?
You actually did, yeah. I don't like exposing my co-cast. I just think it's funny. That's not actually, that wasn't my goal.
I don't know. I don't even know where. Oops.
Good stuff. Anyway, you described that very well, other than that tiny moment. Spot on.
Please don't hate me. Oh,
listen.
now.
No, it's fine. Like, you know, end of the day, I'm sure there are Turkish fans watching this game. They love Soulfly probably as much as they love Eternal Fire. So, owner's in a great position.
We're making noise.
Lots of noise being made. As you say, oh, and he gets one and he falls away. That is just so good, man. Couldn't have been better. Delays the clock. Skrunk may be in, but he needs 2 kills with only a Tech 9 and he can't get a single one. All of his teammates would have died around him anyway. And that, again, is a decent half for Betera. Flux have to fight once again.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know. If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
I'm getting a sense of deja vu. Betera 8-4 on Mirage. They ended up actually fumbling that lead, even though they won the second pistol. So I'm still, you know, it's been a good map for them. They had a really good end to their CT side, but I'm waiting. I'm not getting too excited yet for Betera for map 3. Firefly, because they seem like they really resurge in these second halves.
Yeah, let's see. We're already out long, actually. It's about to be a massive brawl. Look at this setup. 2 players on the corner. 1 on car. Oh, they're not going for a peek yet. In comes the flash. In comes the brawl. But Supra and Tenzi will get away with the 2-for-1. They're trying to double up on Car, but Height will not let Scrunk get there. Maybe they do overlook Soulfly, though, because they saw him trying to get to that position. Soulfly needs a multi, and it's 2. Oh, it could have been 3. It's now Sensei, 1 versus 2. Needs the first kill cleanly, though, otherwise he's going to get doubles 1. And he may have got 1, but he doesn't get 2. Tenzi wins out the pistol, and now, just for the conversion, unlike map 1.
That was such a good pistol round for Fireflux. It worked perfectly. The double flashbang as well. Unfortunately, I think there might have been potentially some miscomms or whatnot from Fireflux because they 100% should have peaked on the second flash. They definitely peaked on the first flash. And as the second flash came in, one player had already died. Second was near death. So, I don't know. That was a weird pistol round that was set up perfectly. The execution, though, wasn't. Sensei, he almost did it all. Soulfly almost did it all, but as you mentioned, 3, as hard as it is to say, he had to get 3 there. He got left by himself, and he almost did it all, but left Sensei in a fairly difficult 1 versus 2. Betera, they've already taken some early onset damage. Tenzi's down to 10 HP. No extra tag for the scouts, so good flashbangs to get Height into pit. And with the bomb committed towards pit, I feel like it's pretty obvious we're going to be going towards A.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, he's looking back, he's fine. There we go.
Oh, it's not fine. Banjo could trade, though, at least. This is such an awkward play, and the bomb's actually going towards B. Banjo's been spotted.
Oh my god.
Banjo! A double dink, and alongside that, Sensei has picked up another with the scout. They know about Owner and lower tunnels. Soulfly, unfortunately, drive-byed. It's a 3 versus 3 with top tunnels currently smoked off. You've got Owner doing long-range damage with the Mac-10, and now Banjo is scared because they can come through middle. He has no idea where Owner is, so he's had to actually relinquish the control that he had in tunnels, which would have and should have won out the round. But instead, he has to go and think about middle, but he's clearing it out so effectively. He has to assume that no one's there, but now he's been smoked off. Utility's down, but he's able to pick up 1 and a second. He hasn't stopped moving. 7 seconds left. Masval's picked up the bomb. He's gonna get it planted with just enough time on the clock. He's been tagged down pretty low. Sensei Deagle in hand. He can't connect the shot. And Masval, what a crazy round. But he just about puts Betera on double digits.
Oh, how can you even summarize that round? You know what? I've thought of something. Nerf the MP9, for God's sake.
That's a fact.
I mean, the first kill from Banjo is ridiculous enough. The double dink in towards spawn, but the other kills, I mean, sure. Like, they make a little bit more sense, but they're still insane for a 1250 SMG, man. I mean, the buff for the FAMAS is good. I don't think it's going to warrant many people playing it over an MP9 unless it's ridiculously cheap. I mean, goodness gracious, those just too easy. And the Mac-10 for Supra is already out a long way out, actually. Then the second Mac-10 that's in this round, in fact, there are 3 of them. Has gotten that kill toward Paz as well. So they're going for a peek. Oh, and yeah, unless he gets a headshot. He was never going to go 1 for 1. Height gets a lovely shot on towards Soulfly. And this round is done. Betera a lot more solid. Sure, that previous round wasn't. But scoreline now reflects that we should be going to 3.
I mean, this is a full buy. Only 1 player survived in the previous, naturally, so Fireflux, they make more of the bolder call to reinvest in. It's never a good time on the CT side when you're having to double reinvest. You don't really have the economy. Sure, the SMGs do give you that extra $600, and especially for Fireflux, they got a lot of SMG kills in the last round. But we're going to go to 11 for Betera. Fireflux are going to have to concede that. They're going to have to go onto an eco. The only thing they've got is Banjo on an A1S. And they're going to have to play for overtime, where they will need to win 8 rounds in a row flawlessly, and then win it out in overtime. It's an absolute mountain to climb. And I don't think they've even got to the boot camp yet.
The boot camp is supposed to be the easy place to access Not in this instance. Fireflux not in this game, I'm afraid. Unlike map 1, when they recovered instantly. I mean, Betera, crazy thing right now is that Betera will be looking at this game thinking, how on earth haven't we won 2-0? Like, but they'll have to reset for map 3. Once we get there. It's not done just yet. Paz is having a bit of a rough end, I'm afraid, as well. Gets a 1-for-1 toward lowers, but no more than that. Map 10's staying pacey.
Oh, we've bought.
Yeah, I hate it.
I mean, I guess at this stage when you're 4-11 down, you're just doing whatever you can do.
I get it, but I hate it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any good, right, easy answer here for Fireflux. No. They've got the damage advantage, I suppose. That's information. That's a lot of information that players are going towards B. And with no contact taken towards middle, Sensei, when's he going to go towards B?
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
it's now.
You had the intel, like you were saying, and it just weren't rotating. And yeah, that's awkward. The lurk, I'm going to say lurk smoke, but it was actually a nade going towards the front of tunnels there. The smoke's gone up on doors instead, but now there are 2 players here. Scout's doing damage. Banjo gets his 1. Sensei, though, needs another tag, and he's not got it. Soulfly will be able to take Masval. That at least gives him an advantage, but Tenzi has time to get the bomb planted and reposition and even reload as well. They're going to go for a double swing through the doors, and it works out. They commit to the trade. And Soulfly, you can always rely on him. That keeps Fireflux in the game for now.
Ooh, Masval's lurk in middle. I thought that was going to be enough. I thought that was going to solidify the round and potentially solidify overtime, but it didn't. And yeah, it's a big find and a big clutch being won out. Issue for Fireflux, though. Just look... I actually have a better buy than I thought they would have only one surviving. Okay, look, they're not fighting for overtime just yet, but we're still, it's the same conversation. Like, we're still fighting for 6 rounds in a row to even level the scoreline. Like, it's an absolute mountain to climb. Skrunk, you know what? He gets the first kill. There's a lot of utility exposed towards long there, and for nothing.
I feel like in most situations, Skrunk does make the right decision. I think he's a very good decision maker, not just for his team, but for himself with how he plays. It's just unfortunately, you know, his aim lets him down a little bit. Happens to the best of us. But he does well there when he was flashed to sort of judge getting that kill. He probably would have been shouting in the VC, guys, did I kill him? Did I kill him? Gets away with it. An advantage to work with, but how long? Paz is really having the rough game on this one, and somehow hopping his way on the edge of the door gets away with his life.
Ooh, flash from short. Oh, it's almost perfect. Skrunk throws a flash from lung into short. Doesn't blind anyone, but as they try come through the smoke, it's a very messy and chaotic round. Sensei getting a brace there could finalize it for Fireflux, as Height and Tenzi now have to try and reset with very minimal map control. There's also been a fresh smoke replenished towards B tunnels, and Banjo is just playing around that with the MP9. The one gap currently in the defense is towards middle. Sensei's made noise dropping off short, and Paz is about to as well. He's run straight into the AWP. They have confirmation of a second as well. Banjo, if he falls here, that's going to be round over, but uncleared. Got me a little bit scared there for a second. He takes his time. The bomb was always out mid. Actually, you know what? It didn't matter if Banjo fell there. There was no time anyways. Height was just still hanging around B doors, cautious of Sensei. He did ultimately get the kill, but it's going to be Fireflux just about adding another round to their tally.
Yeah, I think Height can maybe make his way up if they just entry Banjo straight away, but even then, like, you had, what, 15, 12 seconds? Something like that? It would have been very, very close to get the plant. It might have just got it on the buzzer. But, yeah, none of that happened anyway, so it's all irrelevant. And now for Betera, some of the rounds have been quite close, so their money isn't that great. They're down to, well... a spawn play with Owner on the AWP. Height gave it over to him to try and go for that pick. Giving it back, of course, as he's the one with armor and saved it himself, and he's the AWPer, so just Little spawn-based swap. But, yeah, this actually gives an opportunity now in this game for Fireflux. You always feel like you have a chance when your opponents are 2 away from a win rather than just the 1. You can afford 1 more mistake.
This position from Banjo always terrifies me. When someone jiggles there with a smoke as well, because they can just run straight through that. Luckily, he gets somewhat of an early warning sign, and it will deter Betera. We have locked down short and mid right now. 2 players behind doors, 2 players on short. Short's been forced to retreat. And now we've got the scrimmage out middle. Soulfly, it gets even more awkward. Pistols are jumping everywhere. Paz, his misfortune continues, and Tenzi, he hits 2 zingers with the deagle. Tenzi, he's continuing with the AK now. We have got the rotation from Banjo towards middle. No one's dying. Shots are flying everywhere. And now Tenzi has to clutch up a 1 versus 2 for the ace. There's the first. Jumping down. Tenzi denied with only 6 hit points. Skrunk leads by example. And what the hell just happened?
Oh my god, Tenzi, he's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere. And as soon as I saw Skrunk on short, with an A1S getting lower and lower on ammunition, Owner played that really well, right? Like, he crouched up on Xbox and moved over to the far left, as he would look, on Xbox to make Skrunk have to react differently in that sort of micro adjustment with the M4. And that crosshair micro adjustment was not easy. Skrunk gets away with it somehow, and also gets away with dropping down into CT to get the win on the trade. Unbelievable. Tenzi would have felt like that was a freebie and 12 rounds right in front of him. He'll be upset that he didn't get away with it. But Fireflux still alive in this one. No money in the bank to speak of. If they lose a round, it's pretty much done, you'd feel. Sensei's only on a scout still. But, yeah. This
fantastic game.
This fun game continues to deliver. Scout v Scout.
Paz just can't catch a break.
Good God.
He can't do anything right now. 4 and 17. Banjo. Somehow did he? Utility being picked up isn't something that can be heard. That is just a disgusting shot from Masval, and Betera, because of one guy over towards B, now have a free A bomb site. And Sensei put down a little bit lower than he already was. A save. They have, like, Masval's still causing commotion on B. This is really unfortunate now for Fireflux, because at most they save an AK and Scout.
Yeah, they're just all over the map.
At most.
They're in Fireflux's walls right now. They have no idea how to get out. Soulfly will try and save the AK, but it's the best he can do for his team. Betera just keeping it simple a number of these rounds. It took long, bided their time, did the damage. A few other bits of presence across the map, causing Fireflux to doubt themselves, and in the end they just enclosed everywhere. Soulfly should get seen. Might get a kill. He will, but he's concentrating on suicide. There we go. And now Sensei only saving a scout. Bless him. That is not going to do him much good in this following round. At least it's something, but around him are only going to be maybe 1 MP9 and 5.7s. That is it.
Third map felt inevitable, and even when Fireflux started winning some rounds on the city side, I wouldn't even touch the word clean. It couldn't be any further from clean. And well, looks like this could be where the show ends. Comes to a very sharp stop, not as contentious as Mirage. No comeback this time. The third map. The same third map that was played between these two teams previously.
Sharp.
It will be ancient again, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, this is all just fallen apart. We've run up long, and we've smited everybody. Soulfly, last alive. He's being pounced, and Tenzi ends with a really respectable 18 kills there as well. He had a massive resurgence towards the end, hitting some very sharp shots, even almost got a 1v3 ace to push them into 12 confirmed. But yeah, it's gonna be Ancient. That was a very dominant map for Betera, and both
so relevant long term. Jota was an absolute slam dunk move because he was already part of their academy setup. And it makes me wonder if he was on loan to Sangar, right, Jota? So it makes me wonder if Jota and Soulfly were both a part of the academy setup, who they would have chosen, because arguably you'd say X-Flad would have fitted in Eternal Fire's roles a little bit better. They'd already tried and tested him and thought to themselves, okay, not for us. So they went for Jota, understandably so. When it comes to Soulfly, I do wonder if it's an EU team or eventually an Eternal Fire that is his true calling. That remains to be seen for his future.
Yeah, Jota, from my perspective, would have had massive recency bias because he was kind of the main reason why Sangal got to the level that they did, and obviously for Soulfly, which haven't seen much from him since like 2023, right?
Basically played in Smooth's mixed team. That was it, right?
Yeah, and it's been I mean, recency bias, big part of it. I think this is a great time for him to show again what he's made of. But let's head into the third map. One team will go 3-0 flawless, the other will be left in tears. And it's Flux to start out on this T side, and with a lurk over towards B in the form of Scrunk, he's going to be really successful in getting a kill on Mass Foul, and that draws away so many players from the immediate pressure of A. But they deal with Scrunk really effectively, so now they can go back to this retake, but because they've all run away, Soulfly and Paz, they've got very close towards CT, and they are not going to allow them to enter until the headshots start raining in. Banjo and Sensei now in a disadvantageous situation. The bomb is planted for them, there's no kit, and Banjo's picking up headshots left, right, and center. This is very awkward, playing Ring Around the Rosies. Who's going to drop first? Well, it's me, Banjo, but he wins out the round.
Oh, that's brilliantly played by Banjo there. I mean, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about Soulfly at the beginning, just in that pre-game segment. But you know, Banjo's another player which I feel like also hasn't fulfilled his full potential. Like he's definitely got what it takes to be one of those important role players on a better team one day. But right now, delivering for Flux, he's doing exactly that. That was a really well played clutch in the end. The 2 kills were massive, and then just playing Ring Around the Rosie, like you mentioned, around Big Box. That was the way to win the round, and I think he'd already won it anyway, even if he died pretty fast. So, played it to perfection. And Flux an opening on Ancient. And I do feel like it's right, Freddy, that we find ourselves in a third map decider, considering both these two teams are flawless this season thus far. Both got 2 2-0s. So they both now lost a map to the team that's got the other 2-0. So it feels like a nice middle ground that the two top teams are fighting this close.
Yeah, it's really cool that early on in the season we already have a very contentious battle for the top in this group. I think the group stage is always one of the more exciting phases of ESL Challenger. Because you get a mixed bag, that's when you open up for a lot of upsets. I guess Betera are the upsets. And when Sangal won season 47, they were more of the upset as well then. I don't think they topped their group, but they still put on a pretty good show. And it looks like we should be going 2-0 here for Flux. Owner who's had a fantastic series, by the way, and on Mirage, those first 9 rounds when they were just beaming, Owner was running up middle and taking scalps left, right, and center. He continued that on Dust2, and I think a big win potential for Betera is him continuing that on Ancient. This round, though, I don't think he's going to get offered up anything.
It's a little settler, Flux in this one, to open this game. I know that the gun round's coming at 2-0, but it's not like they got a 3-0 start. But it's not going to be perfect, of course, for Betera. They only have a FAMAS, and actually I think owners just sold it and bought a MP9 instead. That is the state we live in until that FAMAS gets its buff in just under a week. We are waiting, Valve. We know it's coming.
I find that so weird they announce it.
They announced an announcement.
And also, the fact like Train's not in the competitive map pool yet, really?
Yeah, they're just committing to that for Season 2, I suppose. It does make sense in that way.
But hey ho, first gun round. And we're just going straight towards A. Deep donut smoke. It's gonna force Tenzi to fight middle, gonna force Supra ahead of it, and Tenzi, he fights middle into Paz's waiting arms. He's had a much better start to this map than he did on, well, combined on both the maps, and that could be a win factor that we didn't really speak about that much, is if someone like Paz, who's been struggling, if he steps up, and if the rest continue, ooh, that could be scary. But this is a weird mid-round from Flux. They actually freeze, they halt, and they've lost a lot of their map control. They've got no smokes left, and they kind of have to commit towards A unless they take a diversion through middle. And if they commit towards A, they're just going to be walking straight into height and Supra.
Look how much util they have with no smoke, bro. Like, how they found themselves in this position.
Because they double smoked A and mid.
Yeah, but they've still got full belts other than that, which is like so frustrating. You
saw a shadow.
Not much left at all, but flashes gonna have to be used to try and hold them off, and yeah, the nade is spot on. Soulfly does get one though before he got naded out, so even though there is a little bit of retake utility here for Betera, actually, even though Flux are at a disadvantage in terms of not having a smoke, now they've got the advantage in a 2v2 with the health. Looking rough for Betera. 56 and 44, only a full health player between them. It's a bit awkward, and yeah, I don't think there was a kit. Height's got no armor as well, don't forget, in this situation, so he's very squishy. There's the first duel, and Height, and Nada will find him if Banjo decides to throw it. And Height realizes there is no way to go. He's out of there.
Why has he got no armor?
I'm assuming he's died. He's died because of that as well. I'll be honest.
He was on the B-bomb side.
Do you remember if he had an AWP that round? Do you remember?
No. It was all A1S's.
Okay, so I don't know then.
He's saving for the future.
I don't know then, because I was going to say if he had an AWP,
away for a rainy day.
Maybe he was glass cannon AWPing and switched to an M4 to retake. God. But I don't think he was, right? So.
Sorry, Masfal just given me an epileptic fit. What was that? Actually hurt.
Yeah, that was a bit of a wild swipe.
I was not expecting that. I mean, regardless, I would say great first gun round, but it was good. And then they just, if they committed towards A and just traded out early on, it would have been a really good round. But they definitely overcomplicate things extensively. However, look, they get the round. And no one survives. They keep 2 alive. It's all hunky-dory. Gotta be careful. Ancient's 100% one of those maps where 5-7s can be very dangerous. This is just one of those maps for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they've boosted over the red room smoke! That's so unfortunate for Paz, but the fact that he even gets one there is kind of ridiculous. They have confirmation of 1 red room, confirmation of 1 donut, and this is what I mean, the pistols can be dangerous. We've currently got an advantage set up for the CT side, and extensively put forward. Sensei now left into a 1 versus 3. Should know there's 1 cave, but overlooks it, and there it is. They only had pistols and armor. They barely, I don't think they even had any utility going into that round, and Betera snatch away something that they never should have had the opportunity to do so.
That's so frustrating for Flux. I felt like they were in a normal situation for most of that round. Like, they'd taken a default toward lane, they'd sort of positioned themselves across the map in a default across the map in general, to be fair. It wasn't just lane. And, you know, Skrunk was using his utility toward Jaguar. It seemed all hunky-dory. He got himself control of that position. And then that boost in Red Room seems to just set them into almost a frenzy of not knowing who's in what role where. Really strange and frustrating as well. Masval loves that spin, doesn't he? So we're seeing it from a third person this time.
Terrifies me from a distance.
But yeah, that's really rough. And yeah, I think going from my memory banks, I think Inferno and Ancient were probably the two maps that Skunk on his older teams used to enjoy IGLing them the most and had the most success on. So
Ancient,
I would expect,
definitely.
Ancient definitely. An old Inferno definitely was like a solid one for that old Sangal. But yeah, that is one of those defaults where he'll be asking to himself, how we all just died, you know?
It looked great. The pistol... Speaking of how have we all just died, I'm assuming Tenzi needed to open the smoke there.
Yeah.
It was a really good opening kill for Sensei, but unfortunately he does get quite quickly and swiftly traded. We're doubling up towards Donut as well for Betera. Height, he's not moved off the angle, and this bait and switch alongside Supra is somewhat flawless. We lose the opening kill, but we stabilize perfectly. And now a 2 versus 4 where again, you kind of reflecting in the default and being like, so what went wrong here? Soulfly has got a lot of space towards B, but we need to get a Banjo out of cave. Masval should be backstab. Oh my god, he doesn't look. Masval should have been backstabbed, but Soulfly doesn't come around the corner because the utility dropped by Owner. And because of that, Masval's able to collect both and keep this a really clean round for Betera.
That's so awkward, man. You thought he'd have a pincer there, but not to be. Please, Masval, please. Just think of the children. With Freddy being the child in this instance.
Hey!
You're like 22, no? 21?
I'm almost 22. I'm
Okay.
21.
That's actually a good
But,
guess then.
That was I mean, it's almost like we've known each other for years.
I know.
I am still the child, but I feel like I've lost that protege tag. You know when you're, like when I was 18 or 19, I guess 18 for when I was like playing or whatever. And then when I started casting, or even, I mean before that I was like 16 when I was going to LAN. And then like 18, 19 starting to cast. I feel like you had the cool age buff and everyone's like, whoa, protege, da-da-da. And now I'm just like, 21's one of those ages where I'm like, well, I'm still young, but I'm not considered anything special. So...
Don't put yourself down. Come on.
Hey, thank you. I'll be wise one day, just like you.
I'm wise in many ways, but not wise in many others. So, you know, all comes down to the person.
No one's perfect.
Exactly. I mean, I'm
Perfection
20...
bleeds ignorance.
This year I turned 29 in September, so that's pretty close to 30. You'd hope I'd have some form of common sense.
You'd hope so. And
Yeah.
I can attest to the fact that you do.
Thank you. Leaping Glocks outside
We're
A.
playing
Nice
Mario.
tags coming through. Yep. And thankfully, Supra doesn't die for his sake. Means they keep all 5 players alive against the Glocks. Good for the money.
That's
built up.
big. 3
Those rounds
alive
have
as
been
well,
rare.
the previous. 3 alive, 5... Yeah, when was the last time we had 5 alive?
At the beginning of every round.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like 3 alive, 5 alive, winning an eco.
Yep.
Betera and just look at their econ. There's no scraping of the bottom of the barrel. They're rolling in the coin. Flux, the same can't necessarily be said for them. We've got Skrunk only on a Molotov. No smoke for Sensei.
I like Tenzi's deep nade toward mid. I think actually
I
like
love this lane take as well.
that's actually pretty super solid. Gets a kill back straight away. But yeah, I think often that nade is just sort of chucked willy-nilly-ish toward the bottom of mid there. Isn't like that sort of jump lineup is not used as often to do as much damage as possible, and Paz has been eating that nearly every round. Poor old Paz has not had an easy run of it in the rolls he's in the last couple of maps, to be fair, but he's doing okay this one. Now the smoke's fading toward Donut. Tenzi, is he ready? There are 2 players behind it, Skrunk and Paz. Are they ready? He plays in the middle of it, and Paz is very ready. That's a huge kill. Now it's only 1 player on the site, and it's Owner. There's going to be a very quick rotation, to be fair, but he's going to need that rotation to get a kill, and Hype will not. Now, Owner, how does he play it? There is a kit on Masval. There might still be a world this round is recoverable if he finds one kill quickly, but right now it seems like he's playing the long game to save, almost.
Saving the AWP is never a bad thing. And even though that we have the economy for Betera, the retake fallacy could very much be alive. And
Good
yeah, it's
trade.
like, oh, we'll go for one kill and we might go and win the round. But it's like, oh, maybe if we just save both, you know, we're keeping our good economy. We're not flaunting it.
Yeah. I mean, exits here are good, and Owner is very aware of that.
It is good, yeah. Damage is good here, because money is definitely worse for wear when it comes to Fireflux, but that's a really nice round for Fireflux that I'm quite surprised Betera gives so much space to. Like, they take lane very early on, and then Fireflux, they retake middle, and they just kind of walk onto the A bomb site, isolating a lot of those jewels. I'm very surprised we don't see a more aggressive rotation from Betera after they take all of that early map control.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. Jeff falls a little bit further away from those deep nades on this occasion, realising that's the way Betera go about it. Oh, they're already up toward B. This is very aggressive. Soulfly needs an entry, but he's taking a bit too long. You know what? He should be delighted he's got away with one there, because he let that Cubby player live a bit too long and was always going to get caught from that cave position. And now it's really awkward. Owner's all over the site here in front of all these smokes. They're trying to retreat into afterplant positions, but they just can't. Scrunk, huge headshot with the Tech 9, keeps it even.
Oh, bye-bye. Supra, Ferrari peak. Smoke towards short. It's not going to have much effect, and there's no nade for this smoke at ramp, so Supra with a kip, yeah, it's going to be an easy defuse unless the AWP can land another tag.
No.
Oh, the AWP almost got a double wallbang. That would have been some heroics. But ultimately, it's Betera who... What a retake. Like, actually, what a round. Like, how did they win that round?
That's pretty crazy.
It was perfect from Fireflux.
Honestly, I respect going for the wallbangs as well with the AWP, but, you know, he had the lineup, but he ran out of bullets on the AWP. How depressing is that? That was the old 10-bullet AWP, but he was sorted. Kenzie looking to fight a bit more aggressively this time, and almost catches off Paz.
Tenzi is not going to be affected by this flashbang, but it'll be affected by that. That is definitely one way to eliminate your opponent. Bye, Tenzi, I guess. You know what? Paz's been having a rough one of things we've been commenting upon. I'll give him that one. Soulfly, however, he's not been having a rough time, and he's going to continue excelling. 5v3. We've got mid control. We've got lane control. We don't quite realize it yet. But this could get dangerous if we potentially peek into the AWP from heaven. Like, if Height is able to pluck these players off from middle, those are really easy kills that can sway this round. Just like that, he spotted Paz as well going into Donut. That's going to cause Supra to look over, and it will cause a rotation from Height. This is when Fireflux have to pounce towards B, but instead, the bomb's going towards A.
It is quite common to walk A late round or even rush A early round. But there's all the information in the world. Betera are reading these rounds quite well. This one has not taken much reading. They know what's going on. It's definitely an A play, and Supra gets himself a 1-for-1. But that smoke is huge because Height, he's taken so much damage and then smoked off after he takes the tag. So the bomb should be able to go down. It should be safe. Height will creep forward. Owner Shaw is on a big flank. But he needs to probably do most of the heavy lifting here. There's one kill, it's a free B, but Paz, he takes Height the split second before Owner gets that kill. And now, both players stuck behind default. That Incendio is actually going to be pretty decent, but no, it actually just forces them to play together in the open rather than hide. And it makes it simple for Scrunk.
So, we were talking about how good that smoke was in CT and all of that, and how readable this round is. Height decides to look red room, and the reason why that smoke is so good is because Height is not in a position to actually push through it. He was when we were talking about how this round was looking amazing and they were going A, Height was stationed towards A. And then when Owner gets the information, the sound cues, that they're going from heaven into middle, he decides to go red room instead of just hunkering down on the A bomb site. And then the utility comes in and we've actually just left our anchor completely alone by himself. It feels like Height, that was a really bizarre reposition from him, and it ends up costing them that round, and it might end up costing them this half because it's a full investment here for Betera, and Flux have got a man advantage once again with mid control, but this time there's no pesky AWP to dismantle them.
I mentioned about how both teams need all 5 players to chip in. They are this game, for both teams, which is super important.
It's a big kill.
And Height, he'll chip in again and will be left with a chip of health. 2 remaining after his 2 kills. Flux have got good map control. They're through Red Room as a trio, but they still need to get past Height. And with back turned, it could still be a kill, but no, they check it properly. Good kill from Paz, and now it's a CZ and a 5-7 on the full rotation. They're going to diligently check most of these angles. There'll even be a right-click smoke on the corner there. Sure, the molly toward long is just the one bit of insurance policy that they're hoping to put into place. But there is no one there to worry about.
Yeah, do what Owner's doing. Pick up an AK. You can play with the AK, and then you can drop the 5-7 over in the next round, because we're going to have very poor everything. So saving an AK and then a pistol is actually somewhat important. What's Betera's loss bonus like going into the final round of the half? Oh no, it's not the final round of the half. What am I on about? There's 2 more rounds left. Okay, it's going to be an eco. But then the eco is important to have the pistol, so that you can drop that over, but we're actually not saving anything. Okay, I got confused in the numbers. That's why I didn't do very well at maths at school. But it still is Betera throwing away this half by losing that 3 versus 4 where Height kind of rotated off A. Flux up against an eco. They have struggled against the pistols already this map, but that was against pistols and armor. This should be a different kettle of fish. This should be substantially easier.
Sorry, Freddy. As long as you know how to add and subtract, that's really all that matters, to be honest. And everyone has a calculator these days anyway, so who cares?
See, teacher from maths.
Oh, Owner. Oh, Owner. Oh my goodness, he's got an AWP. He's alive still. He's alive still. Oh my
What a trade. Terrifying. Terrifying.
But they're fine.
We're fine. We're only gonna lose 1 player. It's all dandy. There's no reason to be scared. I get very overly scared at anti-eco rounds sometimes. I think that's a common trend.
Well, I would say it comes from you now being a coach and you watching your team playing against anti-ecos and, you know, pulling your hair out, probably.
Or winning. I kind of see both sides, right?
Yeah, fair enough. You eco round demons, and you have plays for your for your pistol rounds. And
if you were there watching the UKSE final, we actually won 2 pistol rounds, 1 full eco in the finals on 1 map. Yeah, like I think I've been on both sides, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen, yeah. And
Ready?
I think especially at this level, when you've got the firepower, they can be dangerous. But final round of the half, and we are out mid once again.
Yeah.
Tenzi's been spotted because he's smoked off. We have no util. We actually have nothing for Betera.
That's pretty crazy. They've used it all in mid sort of early round, and they know that Tenzi is stuck in toward the mid cubby. Now, just if you're Flux, you have to assume there's support there to try and bail him out. But Tenzi just should be a dead man walking. There's no. If he gets out of that spot with 1 kill, it's a minor miracle at this point. Oh no, wanted to try and peek to help out, but if he swings, he'd just be going straight into Soulfly, and that's always dangerous. Duel will be taken, they go back and check it, and Tenzi does get away with a kill. The supports come through, and they're so focused on removing him from that position, they're avoiding and ignoring other important angles. But Paz is doing a really good job to get 2. Unfortunately, Sensei can't bail the trade out for his team. That leaves Banjo in a 1 versus 3 wild round. He's been dinked up, and he should be dead in 3, 2, 1. It's half at 7-5. Who wins this series? See you in a minute.
sleep or awake. How let the future escape. Take me back to you. Just shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. How let the future escape. Back to you.
You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. Don't just stop it. Doing what you do. When I lay back, holding on to you. Ooh, feel like something new. Here on overload, all my body is for you to hold. Ooh, feel like something new, yeah.
It's a lot more even at the half than it has been in previous maps. But for the first time, Flux take the lead going into the second half. Our final half, potentially, of this series. And our final half to leave one team reigning above the rest in Group A.
We've got a great game tonight. We picked the one game that was a 2-1, all the others were 2-0 in Challenger League EU tonight. Fast kills. Height's been excellent on the P250 entries on T-pistol rounds. Doing more work here, and you know what? It could even be more than just this too. Banjo boosted up Shadow advantage. He knows there's a second player in there, goes for a pre-fire and takes it, and it's all going swimmingly for Flux in the end. Well, they may have lost a couple of players due to Height's entries. As soon as they committed toward A fully, they walked into the stack, and Flux were very ready.
I mean, that was a fantastic opener from Height. I really don't know what more he could have done there, but then it's a really good rebuttal. And Paz, fair play to him. He's had a really good show of form here on Ancient that we really haven't seen in this series. And I said at the very beginning that could be the difference maker, and it so far looks like it might be the maker as he leads the fragging for not only his team but the whole server. And with no bomb going down, Flux should be extending their lead even further to a 9th. Banjo's got to be careful. Doesn't want to give away his life unnecessarily here. It should be good.
Yeah, Paz is Honestly, in the tough roles he's been in, especially on team side, when he's getting naded all game pretty much, I think Paz has played a really, really good Ancient overall. He's top fragging for his team, might go without saying, but he's been putting in a shift. We'll take the loss as well. Masval will drop. Do you remember Iron Branch, Freddy?
Of course I do. They took my elo one time. And one of their players is now banned.
And one of their players was Masval, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. That's a good track record.
Oh, dear. Joking aside, that is one of the teams that, like, I think Heavy God was on, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Heavy God was on Iron Branch way back when, because obviously he can speak Russian, Heavy God. And yeah, that's where I remember sort of catching him and a couple of these other players sort of for the first time. They were around that ESL Advanced, Open Qualifier, you know, Challenger Qualifier sort of area. Always used to pop up there with some interesting results, some surprising ones.
Yeah, I remember they were an interesting team that did quite well in Advance as well back in the day. I think they, like a CEE, I remember them doing quite well there. Run or Die, something like that as well.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, I think it's the same team, just different name. Anyways, this is a very weird round. We're trying to go on to A, and it's working out. We've got the advantage, but on the reload, Soulfly rears his ugly head, and Masval now has to clutch up a 1 versus 2. He's been fresh on our lips. He doesn't know where Paz is, unfortunately, though, and Soulfly has also retreated, picking up an A1S, so he's upgraded his weaponry, but Masval, Trav, he does have the advantage of time and the bomb on his back.
No util to work with, but does have the ability to take some heads-up duels. Problem is now the time actually will be ticking down. 25 seconds. You've got to make a decision and run at some point, my friend. This is taking a bit too long. There we go.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
red.
Surely he doesn't save, but unfortunately he's taken... He's just shifted too long. It's as simple as that.
He also has no time.
They're covering their bases as well, yeah. They've got one player each site. There's the...
Ooh, good evening.
Oh, he's missed. Oh,
we
he's
have
planting.
time to get the bomb down.
Oh, he's going to kill him.
Oh,
Soulfly,
oh
why?
my sweet Jesus.
Soulfly, why though?
Oh, he kills him after time.
Oh, never mind, I realised.
Oh my god.
I get
He's
it.
so much better than
I
us.
get it. He's so much smarter. I thought he'd let him plant, then I realised he didn't because Soulfly wasn't defusing.
Yeah.
Oh, we've clued in. We've clued in. We
Okay.
get it. Soulfly's a genius.
We get it. Okay. We both had the same thought process that
Yeah.
the bomb had gone down and that Soulfly had accidentally basically let himself die and it'd be a 1 versus 1. But he is so much better than us. I mean, he got the kill anyways, but
I don't think Soulfly was ever going to let himself die. I thought he'd just like let him plant for no reason, and I was really confused.
I thought he was going for a headshot, and I was like, this seems a little bit overreactive. Did we really have to go for a headshot? But Masval now had $400 going into this round, so you know what? Soulfly, he's just so much better than us.
Yeah. I looked at the top of the screen. I realised Soulfly wasn't defusing. I was like, oh, that's literally professional players don't do that enough, by the way.
I agree.
That's one of the things I've been critical of, of even tier 1 pros. They just kill. If there's an opportunity to kill a T player after time and it doesn't damage your economy, do it. Look how hamstrung Masval is now. Not just for this eco, but for all the rounds coming up. Like he's gonna be on a Mac 10 or something, I reckon.
Yeah, it's a really awkward stage of the game, and Soulfly, okay, he's back in it now. He's got a lot of conviction flowing through his veins. Did we need to go for those fights? I feel like we did not. We definitely could have played a little bit deeper there. Owner has armor, Super has armor. They both are currently wielding primary weapons. Sensei, he's going to get all the information they're coming donut. He's playing around big box, holding the line. misses the first crucial shot. A repeat rewards him with nothing, and he's unable to get a single kill. This was a 5 versus 3. It was a 4 versus 3, and they've let it all slip. Paz now has to try and do the unthinkable. There's no way he can win out this retake. And Flux, is this the road to them choking Ancient?
Oh, that's a lovely spray, but he's about to get traded. That is so awkward, Flux. How do you let that slip? It was pistols only. You had a 5v3. You didn't need to push further near Red Room. You just waited. That is so frustrating. And now it's their economy, which is in such problems. Isn't it crazy how things switch around? We were just talking about how Maswell's going to be hamstrung the next few rounds because they're going to probably eco. Maybe he'll be on a Galil or a Mac 10 on the gun round. Nope, he's picked up a gun. He's got a full buy, and it's Flux who are in a worse position. Crazy.
Sensei also just missing all those shots there. Like, if he'd hit if he hits that first shot, I believe he gets all 3 of them.
I know. Sensei is unfortunately the man to blame. Not just the other 2 players, he has to take a portion of it. And there goes Skrunk looking for something with a pistol.
I think we could be in for a bit longer than we anticipated, Trav.
Yeah. Wait, my call time for South America is in 10 minutes.
Is it actually?
It is, but the game doesn't start for an hour, so we'll be fine.
I had that once. I think. Oh, okay. By the way, this round's it's over, and the ort's been lost. Can't remember. I was filling in for Hayes, wasn't I? Was I filling in for you?
Yeah. And you were like doing
Impact. I finished ESL Impact, and I remember we were literally counting down the seconds, or like being like, okay, I was typing to you each round what the live update was, and I went from ESL Impact to ESL Challenge SA within. I think I ended one broadcast and went live with the other within 2 minutes. Paz isn't even... Okay, no one keeps the AK in this round as we get back on tune. No one keeps the AK. It's the first tactical pause being used for Flux. Since it's actually just timed out. This is a difficult situation for Flux to be in, because it's going to be a full eco, it's going to be 8 rounds of Betera, and momentum's swung very sharply in favor of the T side.
Damn. What can you say now at this point? It's just very much game on. We thought it'd be a close series. I didn't necessarily think it would be this close.
I really thought it was going to be a tour for Flux. Like, they've been playing great Counter-Strike this year. They've only lost 1 series out of quite a plethora of series against many different opponents who, truth be told, are better than Betera. And we don't get to see really any of Betera outside of ESL Challenger. And I thought, their results have been great so far in this league. They've gone 2-0. Very flawlessly against some teams that are in form, and I think Group A in general is a really hotly contested group where every single team in this group has the opportunity has the ability to win. Sashi have made great roster changes. Namiga obviously coming off a great year and like making the RMRs, for instance. Sure, they didn't do amazing at the RMRs, but it's very evident the level of Counter-Strike they're playing at, being invited to Blast Bounty. Are they going to... Oh, they're not going to Katowice. I actually thought they were, but they're going to Pro League. 500 just won a LAN. Cybershock have, in CCT, actually had quite a good start. Oh, no, they didn't. They're actually 1-3. I thought they'd done a lot better in CCT.
Come on, CCT Merchant. Where's your knowledge?
I think I watched them versus 9. That would be
fair enough.
Yeah, I remember watching that versus 9. Yeah, I mean, CCT Merchant. God.
Sorry, that was mean of me. But honestly, looking at the groups, if I was to look at these without looking at the current points on the board, I would say Group A, Namiga Sashi. Group B, That's hard because there's lots of roster moves in action here. But maybe I'd say Sinner's Monty, Sinner's Paravision. That's kind of going as expected. Group C, Spirit Academy bait, without a shadow of a doubt. But right now it's Zero Tenacity Iberian Family, ex-Movistar Koi, of course.
Why not?
And Group D, Navi Junior, Aurora, Game Agents, Gone 5. I mean, that's probably one of the easiest ones to predict for me. I probably would have gone Navi Junior and one other team that maybe like a Gun 5 if they had their old roster, but obviously they don't have Tenier, so maybe that was not going to be the case anymore. But Navi Junior 100% is the call I would have gone for. That, yes, for them, but Favbet are up there too. So Aurora 1-1, Favbet 2-0. And in Group A, which obviously we're focusing on today, Betera and Fireflux are the last two teams I probably would have picked to both be unbeaten. Yep. I would have thought that Amiga and Sashi would have had a couple of these games on lock, but that is just how difficult Tier 2 is in the modern era. Simple as that.
It can go just any other way, and it's so hard to predict sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, that Game Agents team, big fan of. It's ex-Apogee.
Ex-Apogee, yeah.
Big fan. I think that's wait.
It's like they went for like
different team.
So
different
Apogee,
team.
yeah.
Sorry.
So Apogee were what they used to be called. Then they changed back to Brazilski Lures again. Then they got picked up by Game Agents, and Apogee picked up another team, a different Polish team.
I'm getting mixed up. The Apogee team right now, big fan of that team.
Okay,
that's who I meant to say.
Yeah,
big fan of that team.
Unfortunately, they're not here.
Unfortunately not. Anyways, enough of our rambling. We're back, but it's only an eco, so
yeah,
not masses of weight to it.
Yep, should be 10-8. Sensei's back in the server. Thank you to everyone who has joined us this evening. We've still got a couple more regions to go in Challenger League. I'll be hopping over to South America. And we've got some of our North American colleagues that will be covering some games tonight. I would assume NRG versus Boss will be one of those games. Pretty good one.
Game.
I am a bit of an NRG enjoyer right now. I think having Bro on the team actually makes them super interesting suddenly.
Is Bro in America, do you think, right now?
I definitely have read this because I do check these things, but right now I'm not sure.
It's quite hard to track because there's obviously, we're not in the group chats, and there's also like they'll maybe come for a few weeks, then go back for a few weeks. Like there's a very low chance that he'll be over in NA for the whole time. For instance, but Betera, they also are able to take away the eco quite cleanly, and they also put Masval back on an AK where he was on a Mac 10. Orp gets saved, 3 alive. Money's good for the T side. It's always going to be when you win these lower by rounds. It's 2 low by rounds Betera have won this map. On Dust2, they won a big CT side round where they had 2 saved AKs and the rest were just on pistols. So Fireflux have let a lot of these rounds slip through that they shouldn't have. But it was Fireflux doing that damage on Mirage, if you remember, on their CT side. They got 2 of their 4 rounds was Deagle rounds, which is fantastic. But Fireflux, they're not actually the ones to take tactical pause. It's Betera take a tactical pause if we go into round 19. And the Turkish core, they still do lead by 2 rounds. But this round suggests to me, are we going to stay in the lead, Fireflux? Or a Betera hot on your heels?
Going aggressive. Oh, hello, we're kissing. And there's no more making out because Banjo and Paz have gotten those 2 kills. The mid play didn't go perfectly well. Now it gives them an advantage, and they need every advantage they can get. Sensei, can he hit some shots? He can. Tenzi, I didn't look like it was particularly as planned, the way he hopped in like that. And now no smoke up towards CT. No utility to actually get that position blocked off in any way. Flash, nade, molly, anything. Supra has to try and jiggle another player out, and they know he's still residing in this position. He's been locked in every position right now. There's a player in mid outside donut. There's a player CT. And there's a player basically T-spawn to keep him honest right now. He might have the bomb on a molly, but having to look for everything right now. And Skrunk's holding the angle with the picked up AWP. The two non-AWPers going up against each other. And Supra will be only tagged, actually. I agree with your reaction. I'm surprised that's a tag and not a frag. But now he's a dead man walking. 32 seconds, about to be flanked from main.
To be a dead man walking.
Come on, Banjo, just swing.
Guys, let's just wait. We're wasting the clock so he dies after time. Okay.
Yeah, not this time.
Not this time. But that's 3 players staying alive now for Flux. After getting a double opening kill instantaneously, there's a bit of marriage vows being said in those smokes. You may now kiss the bride type moment. And they also saved the AWP, 2 AKs. Skrunk's been put on an MP9, interestingly enough. No money for him to get on a rifle. This is actually Betera's last purchase. Betera also don't have a loss bonus. They have 1900 loss bonus going to the next round. So Flux, yep, it seems like they're back in the lead, and they win this, and it should secure map 3, and it should secure their dominance in Group A. These are all if buts and maybes, though.
We hate those. We like assurances. Your nan had balls, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't, so she's not. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Trav's lost his mind.
Sorry. I know you know what I'm referring to.
I know exactly what you're referring to. But I'm also British, so I get this.
Yeah. If there's any British people in chat, I'm sure you know. I mean, to be fair, I'm sure lots of non-British people
British
know
people need a
but...
laugh today after all the news.
That is true. That is true.
We need some sort of happiness.
Into the bin.
Flux, though, this into the bin, not into the win. This is it's a difficult round for Flux because Skrunk doesn't get cleared. Masval, it's kind of pick your poison, which way you're going to look, and he looks the wrong way. Tenzi, though, does clinch a trade, and Tenzi turns back on a 6 points to negate the aggression coming up heaven. A swift trade onto the bomb side, and it capitulates. Betera, they don't want to be forced into an eco. They don't want to play for overtime. They want to extend play and try theoretically close us out in regulation. Sensei, this ought to be much better saved into the next round, but instead he just walks to his grave.
Yeah, that's a surprising non-save there. I would have absolutely agreed on the runaway. It's a 1v3. He was never winning that in a month of Sundays. That's a huge round for Betera. It looked tough to begin with the way Skrunk played the K position there, played that cubby really well. What is it with Tenzi and Masval loving their wiggle in spawn?
There must be some sort of like this is something that I think I've seen with a lot of players who play a lot, right? Well, they have these small mannerisms.
Yeah.
There was one guy on Sashi. Let me see if I can get the right name. I think it was Quez. It was Quez. So he taps his monitor on the right loads, and we mentioned it to an interview after one of the Yellow games. He was like, "Oh, I kind of didn't notice I even did that." And it was like, you do it every time out of spawn.
Tap your monitor? How do you mean? Like
he literally, so like he adjusts his monitor by a millimeter, holding the right side.
Okay.
Bottom right, like millimeters.
Well,
and he does it every single round coming out of spawn. And it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Everyone has their own mannerisms, I suppose. It is what it is. I mean, for example, I think the one player that comes to mind when it comes to like play style that probably is the most obvious player, like if there were no nameplates to know who it is, Zorta. Like he has the most obvious play style and mouse movement mannerisms ever. Like
he's also his posture he's posture maxing.
Yeah. And he's also, I don't know if he's got high sense, but he also plays on like a massive mouse pad, I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
He's got like one of the desk, like it's a full-on desk mouse pad.
Yeah, it's his style of just mouse movement and clearing angles in general is very, very noticeable and recognizable. Anyway, this eco is being, that's why we're waffling, it's just an eco, being eaten up very comfortably. The gap is now 1, Freddy. I mean, we haven't had an overtime yet. Are we heading toward that way on the third map?
I don't know, Jeff. I honestly could not tell you where this game goes, because Betera lose a pretty easy round to get Fireflux on 11, and then it's a really quite sharp rebuttal. We should have had Fireflux close out Ancient. They lose to an Eco, and now it's the reason why we're here. This feels like a game that's in flux. And I honestly couldn't quite tell you who the winner is right now. I think it's very much up in the air. But it looks like Betera, they seem to be the ones on fire. However, they are somewhat quenching that for a second as they do take a tactical pause. They've actually used up all their tactical pauses, and they use them after their rounds have been won, which is very interesting. It also gives Fireflux a second to consult each other, and that will also be very valuable for them. You know, tactical pauses don't just go one way. They are two-dimensional. And this was tactical pauses that would also benefit Fireflux to also let them chat over things. But here we go. The most important round potentially of this whole series. Round 22. Will Fireflux secure overtime? Will Betera continue their onslaught? We're trying to take towards lane. Banjo does trade out, but now he's in a very difficult position. However, Soulfly gets overlooked. Their tunnel vision towards heaven. They're trying to hunt Banjo down. He's safe behind a smoke, and it's Soulfly to give them the advantage. Banjo finally smited. Owner finds his head, but the bomb needs to be collected, and Sensei's not going to allow that to be the case. Height neglected all by himself towards B lane. He actually ran away from the bomb after it got dropped, and now he's in a 1 versus 3 where, to be fair, Fireflux probably don't know where he is, because I don't honestly blame them for not expecting him to be towards B lane, but Scrunk has an inkling.
It's a bit of a scruffy round for Betera, but hang on.
I'd say wait, hold your horses.
Hang on here. Never mind.
What a shot!
That's actually a great shot. Height was trying to jiggle that out. He was trying the jump peak, sort of shoulder peak. And Sensei's faster. And it gives Fireflux an opportunity to get this game won. Betera, that bottom mid push through the smoke, man. Just gifting Soulfly freebies. I know they maybe thought they had the timing to go through that, but it felt disconnected from the rest.
Yeah, very disconnected, where they're trying to trade their teammate and just completely bypass the fact there could be someone close elbow. Soulfly again saving the day for Fireflux like he has done so many times this series. Wasn't enough on Dust2, but on Mirage and Ancient seemingly is. And look again, he just might be in the right position. They were about to pop through that B ramp smoke for a moment, and they might still want to end towards B. They are making sure they get cheap control first. Mid as well, slowly being taken by Tenzi, but he has actually no utility to, let's say, force Banjo off Donut. So we're very happy, Fireflux, to just keep 3 players B, keep Banjo jiggling Donut, getting all of that mid control, and keep Sensei with the AWP posted on A. Smoke towards Donut, though, does put a spanner in the works as we temporarily do lose mid control, but Fireflux still committing to this 3-man B hold.
Now or never. Betera, you want to keep your unbeaten record intact. Right now, Fireflux will be the team to do that. Great entry. Soulfly will go down. Oh, and Paz has been wallbanged to the corner, and that means that we're going all 24. There's no way back in for Banjo and Sensei, and their money is awful. They need to run ASAP. But even though, to be fair, even though Betera's money is also bad, they should be hunting here 100%. They'll know that Fireflux overall, their money will not be great. And Masval's just pushed the smoke, dealt with Banjo. Sensei is surrounded. How does he fight his way out? I don't think he can.
Tenzi just has all the information right now, and he's not even going to need any support.
Damn.
No one goes into the final round of regulation for Fireflux. Maximum 2.8k on Banjo, 1.9k on Scrunk at the lowest, and a second tactical pause being used by the CT side. It does not seem like we're ending this in regulation. Seems like we're finally going to get our first overtime of this series. And of all things on the decider, if it wasn't close enough, if the tension wasn't already higher, it's about to go even further. And Betera, I'll be honest, that was a very easy B take. You had a very meek setup with 2 players, one long, one close.
Agreed.
And then also just that guy in cave, like Paz is completely by himself. You have no ability to trade. You've run out of utility, and the rest of the players on the map are not reacting. You've got someone stuck holding Red Room, stuck holding A. They're the ones of utility. B is the place that you need help, because that's where all the contact's been the whole round.
Yeah, spot on. And now this final round of regulation, so tough for Fireflux. But I've seen them win crazier rounds today. Surely we're not walking through a smoke. Oh my goodness, he actually almost got 1 kill. They're pushing A in the meantime. The trades should come in though, and yeah.
Yeah.
They need to get out of there to give himself any sniff in this round. Banjo has been able to, with his full health still intact. So they have an ability to fight. I don't, you know, even though it looks ridiculously over-aggressive to push that bottom mid-smoke, I get it on a round like this.
The Furia-esque buy.
Oh, esque move.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not the first gun round, it's the final round of regulation. If Fireflux win this round, God is real.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you've got 45 seconds to discover it. Betera are trying to play this one a little bit carefully. You can see they're grouping up together. They're not going one by one anywhere. They're making sure they make the right decision. Going as a group, using their utility without just running in. But Fireflux's rotations are excellent. Scrunk, he's played the other angle previously. Has got 1, but only 1. And there are the kills. We're going OT in map 3 tonight in EU. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a series that deserves it.
It's our second overtime today. We've been graced with the bangers.
True. Asia Pacific and EU.
We've had comebacks in 2 different maps. First from Fireflux, and now on the 3rd map for Betera. And they had to fight thick and thin to get here. Even though Fireflux had the gamble stack in the previous round and the smoke top ramp, they were no match for the AKs. At least for Fireflux now, though, their money is reset. They actually have economy to work with, which was kind of the difficulty at the end there. This nade's going to be huge. Over towards Elbow, good damage. Masval, though, he's just taken the B-bomb site. This is adding so much pressure now to the Fireflux players. And in the meantime, when Banjo's kind of cautious of them coming up lane, he gets backstabbed by, must be a boost from Elbow. And Betera take an instant advantage here in the first round of overtime and look to end towards A, but Scrunk has rotated in to support Soulfly.
And that was a pretty ridiculous change-up, wasn't it? I mean, Masval was in the site, and he just leaves again because he knows he can. As they get the pick elsewhere. Damn. How do Fireflux get a kill back now? That's the question. I mean, they do have 1 player around A. It's 1 player you'd want at Soulfly, but he's been taken down, sprayed through the corner of Donut, and Masval will find Scrunk as well. Betera starting off overtime. An immediate victory. No Hayes' Law this time.
How dare they go against Gossip? I think for me, Betera pushing into overtime and then winning the first round, it's not a good sign for Fireflux. The AWP being saved here doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but in overtime, if you lose 2 rounds in a row, you actually can't get the AWP out on the 3rd unless you have someone drop it over and he goes onto an MP9, or the AWP drops an A1S, and basically someone's going to be in a difficult position economically, and we're on Ancient, so Paz far enough away from the bomb, not far enough away, and Betera, they leave no one standing. They go to 13.
Well then. Do Fireflux know what to do to change things up? It's so hard on the CT side when you've been playing it, obviously, the entirety of the second half of regulation. There you go next. Betera having the slight edge. It looks like they are going to decide to push 2 or 3 players down toward lane, and that is a good call. I like that, especially with the smoke up. But unfortunately, the problem is they've actually got no one there to fight. Tenzi once again has removed Soulfly on the other side of the map, and that's rounds in a row now. Soulfly has had a bit of an issue there. And Banjo has to try and make his way down silently so he doesn't reveal his position. The long player would have gathered it if he didn't. At least 4v4 is recovered thanks to Skrunk, though, and that's good considering he's had a slow game.
Oh, look at Masville again. Last round he wasn't successful with his opening kill. He was good enough for dragging rotations. This time he's dragged rotation and he's getting kills. In the meantime, the A bomb site explodes. And Paz is just left sitting here thinking, what's just happened to us? We've been played like a fiddle and Masval's still holding him on B. This man's got aura we cannot even understand. But Paz, fair play. You know what? That was a pretty tasty spray down. And you can actually see Tenzi and Height are like, let's go back to the bomb site now. Let's go back. Is this round winnable? No. Height denies any ludicrous behavior.
That was honestly an insane transfer from Paz. He's had a very good game, but right now, Flux might not end it on the side of the W. Oh, they don't find one in the first half of OT, man. I think it could be done.
A pretty absurd series, all things considered, and this could be a cool change of pace. Tenzi, great opening kill. Soulfly hasn't even had a look in on this overtime. It's come down to the others such as Paz and Skrunk. I thought Betera was going to execute straight onto the B bomb site, and that might have worked if that was the play, but instead they've spread themselves out pretty much everywhere, including an empty A bomb site. Tenzi, after getting that kill and elbow, and after all the commotion towards B, he's going to take all of A, and this is bold, but fortune favors the bold. He called to commit towards B, and he's going to catch players off as they're rotating around. Skrunk, though, aware, but doesn't clear the corner, and Tenzi survives on 2 HP. Now the acceleration back towards B, but Banjo and Sensei are there, ready and waiting. Masval looking to get cut off in elbow. The Molotov, it isn't going to go deep enough. Banjo can peek around it. And behind, he gets flanked by Sensei. Flux look to at least get one round in overtime in the first half, that is, even though they lost the opening kill.
It keeps them alive, man. It keeps them alive. Tenzi 2 HP. He's not making anything of this. Look at these angles. Look what the bomb is. It's one of the hardest places to get the bomb from when you're full health. Oh my god, he's got the kill. What on earth? How has Banjo not been allowed to hit one bullet there? Thankfully, Sensei turns around and gets the one bullet he needs. Spooky stuff. But Flux keep themselves in the game just about. What a battle. We started this series at what? 7 PM UK? It's now 10:15. I've got South America to go in half an hour.
Isn't CS2 supposed to be faster?
Yeah, crazy, right? Don't tell that to all the hard grafters around the world. Right.
Deep nade you were talking about. You said how much you like that.
That's
all the
Paz
way
again.
back in the first half. And yeah, Paz down to 64 HP instantly. Lane control maintained. Supra, as a deterrent, puts down this smoke in A main. Molotov to go in front of it. Skrunk just bypasses it. Skrunk's on the bomb side. They are just neglecting the fact that Supra's there, but it doesn't matter. They give Sensei up for the cause. And Trav, we are far from over. Digits being tapped in on the bomb. It's a 4 versus 3 post-plant for Flux. They
so
might
smart.
not be out. And the nade lands. It blocks blocks Height's ability to see, and Scrunk plays in front of it. He does end up actually falling, but look at this over in Donut. Paz is just blocking them with utility, and this retake is taking so long to activate.
If they've got the kit on Masval, they will get here on time, but how do they find the kill? Soulfly is dancing around the side and somehow manages to find one, but Paz has gone down, and now it's Banjo. They are holding the defuse. He needs to get this kill straight away, and it's an insane reaction from Owner, and it allows Masval to get the defuse. Fireflux, they will be cursing themselves after that.
Okay, apparently we're not hanging around for any longer. Apparently we're ending it off right here. You're kidding me. What? That was a 4 versus 3 post plant. They had everything they would have ever wanted. Scrunk over peaks. The 3 players on the direct bomb site don't play in tandem. And Betera, with barely any time left on the clock, are able to get the defuse. And now they have 2 opportunities, their first time to end off this series. And Owner, the savior, the hero for Betera. He has been a man possessed in this series so far, and he continues until the final breath.
Oh, Fireflux. Oh, Fireflux. You had them. You had them. But I've got to give huge props to the way Betera have played the end of this game. The recovery to OT, the assertiveness in OT after that. Almost playing with nothing to lose, even though they had a lot to lose. Because both these two, he set it up, both of them with 2-2-0s to start their campaign this season. One of them had to lose. One of those records had to be broken. Something had to give. And now Banjo and Sensei have to somehow recover a 2 versus 4. Sensei's 32 HP. This one ain't happening. He's going down. Banjo needs to find 4 players. He's getting spammed even from behind just to make things ever harder. 4 angles to check. He'll clear 1, but he will get taken down from the Supra flank. And Betera, with probably not their full team, if I'm to understand their current situation accurately, have got a 3-0 start in ECL this season in EU.
I can't lie, I don't really know what's going on with the current Betera roster. It seems like it's in flux.